Unscented, and other great scents. Now available at these fine retailers.
On Travel Channel.
I'm Jack Osborne.
And I'm Katrina Weidman.
And on our new show, we're investigating the darkest, most sinister places. Is something here with us right now? That sounded like a growl.
All new series, Portals to Hell. Next Friday at 10 on Travel Channel. And stream a sneak peek on the Travel Channel app.
It's an evening of severe weather across the Mid-Atlantic. Welcome into the special edition of Weather Underground as we cover severe weather for you. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis, joined in the lab tonight by Dr. Rick Knapp and Dr. Greg Forbes, keeping you up to date on tornadoes, severe storms, and flooding. Let's get right to it. Bring in our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, talk more about this. Numerous tornado warnings right now. Tornadoes on the ground, North Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah, we've been having 7 or 8 storms coming across these areas, Mike, in several rounds with the possibility of tornadoes and sometimes existing tornadoes, including in Norfolk and east of the Raleigh area, and then a whole line in the area from southwest Virginia down into generally the Raleigh area of central Virginia. So let's take a look at some of these storms. Still a tornado warning for parts of the Norfolk metro area, Norfolk and Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, and Suffolk with that tornado threat. However, the main core of it now is just about ready to move out into the Chesapeake Bay. It's close to the naval station there and Willoughby Beach with that strongest rotation, and right here you can see the reds and the green. So it's crossing I-64 right now, and then looks like it should push out over the water just to the south and east of Hampton. So that's good news there. But the next round is still on the way. This is southwest Virginia near Gretna, Pittsylvania County. These storms generally moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour. This one is close to Grit, heading up toward Hodges and the Windfall area, and that one has moderately strong rotation on it. Some are very strong. This one could be getting toward Seneca and Gladys as well. These are all in Virginia. Off to the south and east of that one, north of South Boston, Charlotte and Halifax counties in Virginia. This one near the Providence area right now, heading up toward Chandler's Forks and the Womack area of Virginia. This one, an even stronger rotation. You can see here the reds going northbound, the greens going southbound. So a dangerous storm there. Let me take a quick look, see if we have, fortunately, no debris signature, no blue hole in the middle of that one, suggesting at least debris tossed up to the height of the radar. Then there's a whole series of one after another right near the Virginia-North Carolina border. This one's in Virginia, Halifax County. There's the storm just over into Virginia right now near the Virgilina area, heading up toward Midway as it goes quickly to the north. This one, extremely strong rotation, north right over Virgilina. And let me take again another close look at this one. No significant appearance at this point of debris being tossed up, but I certainly wouldn't be surprised if there's a tornado in progress with that one, given the strength of the rotation. Near Roxborough in North Carolina, Durham, Granville, and Person counties with tornado warning. This one close to the Searle area right now, heading up toward Triple Springs and the Virgilina, back to the same area as the previous one. This one not quite as strong a rotation. Well, there it is, just to the south and east of Roxborough, pretty strong rotation. And one more on the way there, south of that one. That one is off north and west of Durham in Orange County with a pretty strong rotation right there near the Person County and Cates areas. This one also very strong rotation. Let me take a look at this one, see if we have debris showing up on that one. No debris showing up on this one. So for the moment, we're not getting debris verification of tornadoes in progress on these. A Bow Echo now overtaking one of these supercells that have been ahead of the line. Still a tornado warning here, though, for Harnett County in North Carolina, and mainly we've been watching this storm that has been up ahead of the line, heading up toward the Raleigh, Triple Point, Angier area. But it seems like it's been overtaken now, but there are some places within that have some pretty strong wind shears, suggesting there could be a tornado there. Very small little storm. It's about ready to expire. Edgecombe County, the storm has moved out of the tornado warned area, so hopefully that one is going to expire. Then a little bit of a different character, a little line of storms with a kink in it. Severe thunderstorm warnings have gone past Myrtle Beach up toward the Wilmington area right now. Bladen, Brunswick, and Columbus counties with severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have the tornado watches across Virginia, North Carolina, still some parts of South Carolina. And look at this, even including Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, right up to the Mason-Dixon line across Maryland to the Pennsylvania border. So it is moving this way. There are some severe severe thunderstorm warnings out to the west of the Front Royal area here in the northeast part of West Virginia. Hardy, Rockingham, and Shenandoah counties will continue to monitor this area. And down near the tail end of this, the cold front, a severe thunderstorm watch across from Orlando to Fort Pierce to Fort Myers goes until 10 o'clock. Lots of lightning and occasionally some severe thunderstorms for a wind damage threat in these storms. The line of storms has rolled into the Titusville area. The severe warning at this point now is down near the Sebring area of Florida. So, Mike, a lot of action. Brand new tornado warning now for Edgecombe and Halifax counties in North Carolina just coming in.
All right, Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. And of course, we're going to keep you up to date on those warnings. Get back with Dr. Forbes here as those come in. Take a look at this. Plenty of storms and lightning here in Tallahassee. Yeah, scary stuff. A lot of these storms over the last 2 days have been lightning packed, that is for sure. I want to help you time out these storms tonight, get an idea of where they're going and when they are out of your hometown. Okay, so we take you into the low country here in Charleston. We have the rain right now. The strongest of the storms are offshore right now. Georgetown, just some light rain for us. And the general direction of all these storms is eastbound, of course, and gone. We might get another line that comes through maybe Columbia and Orangeburg and then slices through the beaches here. That'll be about 11, 12 o'clock tonight, but that shouldn't be nearly as potent as the initial round of storms that we just experienced. All right, Charlotte, much better weather for us now than what we had earlier. There is a little bit of a line back to your west, though. Albemarle down south toward Middlesex here. These are all areas where the storms are now pushing to your east. Could we get another line coming into Charlotte? Absolutely. 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Here comes that next line. That should be about the end of it for you, as then everything from there moves its way eastbound over toward maybe the Research Triangle, so we could get another round in Raleigh-Durham. All right, I want to take you farther north here into D.C. and Baltimore. Boy, we've had some serious delays at the airports today across the Northeast. Just awful travel conditions. Surrounded by showers this evening. We'll be in and out of those for the next couple of hours here. Here we are even at 8 o'clock tonight. Some really stronger storms here. Frederick, Leesburg, Dactorn, Manassas as well. There we are at 10 o'clock tonight. Still surrounded by storms. 1 o'clock in the morning. Heavier showers and storms over the Delmarva here. So a lot going on for us over the next several hours here across the Mid-Atlantic up into the Northeast as well. Want to get you into Virginia right now. Let's go live to our Justin Michaels. He's joining us from Richmond, where bound to be a very rough evening for us here from Hampton Roads up through the Capitol and beyond, Justin.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mike, probably hitting at the absolute worst possible time here in the greater Richmond area is after dark, and that's when the expectation is it's going to hit. And what we're going to see when it finally does hit could be something like 70, 75 mile per hour winds, could see as much as 3 inches of rain, and again, all of this hitting after dark. So make sure you're prepared. Make sure that you are ready. If you decide to go out and travel tonight, traveling is going to be rough. And we know already people in many cases have been stranded on the highways. We also know that there have been ground stops at airports like Orlando and Tampa, other airports having to cease all traffic because of how nasty these storms are. So let me give you a little lay of the land here. That's the skyline of Richmond, Virginia, and you can see it's kind of shrouded in some gray clouds right now. We're getting a little bit of rain come through right now, but earlier today there was a little more rain. In fact, right after lunchtime around 1:30, there was a really nasty bout of severe weather that came through that dumped a lot of rain, knocked out channels on televisions, made the lights flicker. One of those kinds of storms went through, and we haven't seen too much activity like that since, but we know south and west of where we are, south and east of where we are, there have been tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'll tell you what, folks, if all that, and we believe all of that is going to be moving north and coming in our direction, it's going to make for a pretty nasty evening. Here's some video we shot earlier. You can see as we were getting ready for our live shots, there was a pretty decent rain shower that came through, and this is what people can expect. They're going to kind of ebb and flow throughout the course of the afternoon until that main line of rain, that main line of nasty weather does come through. All right, back live here right outside of one of the restaurants here and right along the James River, kind of south and southeast of Richmond. You can see the clouds. Take a look at the clouds as they're rolling through the sky right now, coming from the south and southwest up to where we are, and you can almost see the line. you can almost see the line. The direction in which those storms are going to come from is right there. Mike Hahn behind the lens is pointing in that direction. So we're going to keep a weathered eye on that horizon as the storms are coming through. But as far as air travel, there are plenty of delays at RIC, that's Richmond International, plenty of delays, more than 40 of them at last check. Those numbers are probably going to be going up. Also, plenty of cancellations. It's a small airport, so those numbers might not sound like a lot, but for an airport that size, it certainly is a big impact to this area. So we're going to be watching this. We have a safe place to go to take shelter. Mike, as the storms do come through here, we're ideally going to be live for you on air to keep you up to date and take cover if necessary. Mike Bettison, to you.
All right, Justin Michaels live for us tonight in Richmond. Justin, thank you so much, and it does look pretty awful back to the west. So please take shelter when you need to. Hey, I want to show you some of the other issues we've been having, including flooding. How about these images here? Just look at how high the water is. Flooding everything. Swampy conditions everywhere you look. A lot of creeks and streams coming out of their banks here, and this is in Forsyth County here. This is just outside of Atlanta. Water rescues have been an issue for us today. I want to take you to North Carolina. Dr. Rick Knabb following the situation there where when the water comes up and it comes up quickly, people get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and people are getting in trouble in their cars, and they're getting in trouble near creeks and streams. Even some residents in Henderson County, North Carolina, are getting stranded today. So let me show you what's going on in terms of the flash flooding. Most of it is occurring west of the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings, especially there in western North Carolina. But the flash flood warnings are still in effect in northeastern Georgia, and they extend all the way up into southwestern Virginia. If you want to focus in on the Hendersonville, North Carolina area, where the flash flood warning has just recently been extended until 11:15 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and they've had rain all day, and there have been at least 3 water rescues in that area near Gash Creek. There's 40 residents that were stranded. There have been evacuations done, so you've got to stay off the roads. Don't drive around any barricades. Even though the rain has mostly ended, there's a little bit more on the way. Waters are still rising. So it's been a very, very dangerous day in Hendersonville and in the surrounding communities in Henderson County. So a flash flood warning until 11:15 p.m. there. Now, Asheville, North Carolina, that area still under a flash flood warning until 6 p.m. Eastern time, and there is some more locally heavy rainfall along the way coming in from the southwest. You go up to Boone, North Carolina. That flash flood warning is in effect till 7 p.m. Eastern time. There have been water covering the roads, and in these mountainous areas you can have mudslides and debris flows as well. Just west of Roanoke, this flash flood warning till 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. The cities of Galax are affected, and this is the newest flash flood warning just issued for Lynchburg, Virginia. That's in effect till 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. Mike, it's just the beginning of the event for them. It's going to be a long night into the early morning hours in that very flood-prone area.
And for some, you think about the tornadoes, that may not be the biggest threat they face tonight. It may indeed be the flooding.
We could just as easily lose lives due to flash flooding tonight as we could in tornadoes.
All right, Dr. Knabb, thank you very much. Appreciate that update. Let's get back to Dr. Forbes with the latest on those tornado warnings. Dr. Forbes.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, very dangerous tornado circulations are rolling across parts of Virginia and North Carolina. The tornado warning for Norfolk has expired. It has moved offshore, but there is still one tornado warning in northeast North Carolina and a whole line from south central Virginia across central parts of North Carolina. So let's take a look at these dangerous storms. Starting here in southwest, south central Virginia near the Charlotte Courthouse area. Charlotte and Halifax counties with a tornado warning. That is close to Harrisburg, Virginia, heading up toward Cullen and the Darlington, Virginia areas. You'll see some of the other locations in these white boxes that I'm showing. The rotation a little weaker on this one, but it is off to the south and west of Charlotte Courthouse, heading toward Highway 40 if there's a tornado there. This one heading up now near Clarksville, Virginia, toward the Chase City area, Mecklenburg County. It's about ready to move into. It's close to the High Hill area right now, going up toward Dryburgh and the King's Crossroads areas as well. This one has, as you'll see, a very strong rotation center in this one, heading toward Highway 58, in between, about halfway between South Boston and the Clarksville area. So you want to be seeking shelter in those areas. South of that, near the Roxborough, North Carolina area, Durham, Granville, Person counties with tornado warnings. This one near the Lee Jeffers School right now will be heading up toward Virgilina and then into Midway areas of Virginia. With this one, the rotation has maybe spread out just a little bit, or multiple centers of rotation there. there. On its heels, though, yet another one that's near the Mount Tirzah Roxborough area, and that one heading up towards Somerset and the Roxborough, the Gentry Store areas of Virginia. This one is a stronger rotation, about ready to cross Highway 501 just south of Roxborough, then closer to Roxborough, Highway 158 area. Dangerous tornado possibilities there. This one, the gust front has really overtaken the individual supercell, still for the possibility of tornadoes in Harnett County in North Carolina, but you see less likely, or at least the very short transient circulations there. And all by itself out ahead of the line, a little storm with still pretty strong rotation near Enfield in northeast North Carolina, Halifax County with a tornado warning near the Dawson, the Tillery areas, heading up toward Rehoboth and the Faisans area. This one has moderately strong rotation on that near the Scotland, or just north and west of Scotland Neck. You see the red and green. That will also head up toward the Rich Square area. So, Mike, very dangerous storms. These are just the tornado warnings. There's lots of other severe thunderstorm warnings with a damaging wind threat as well. Very dangerous weather system pushing up, and then later into the Maryland, the D.C. area as well.
All right, Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. Of course, Dr. Forbes is going to keep you up to date on the very latest warnings that we have, along with our Dr. Rick Knapp covering the flooding for you. I want you to stick around. A lot more to come here on Weather Underground tonight. When we come back, all those warnings, of course, we're getting into the overnight hours. Who faces the risk of more flooding, more tornadoes, and an opportunity even for strong winds that could uproot trees and knock out power? We've got that coming up here on Weather Underground. Stay with us.
Honey, time to go.
Guess what?
What?
Coach said I get to play forward today.
Wow.
If I score a goal, I'm gonna go like this. Oh yeah. Then I'm gonna do something like this. And oh yeah, it's your turn to
Bring this snack.
How many teammates do you have again?
Frito-Lay Variety Packs, packed with possibilities.
So you're open all day, every day?
That's what 24/7 means, sugar.
Kind of like how you get 24/7 access to licensed agents with Geico. Yeah, you just go online, give them a call anytime.
You don't say.
Yep. Now, what will it take to get 24/7 access to that lemon meringue pie?
Pie's coming! That's what it takes, baby.
Geico. Great service from licensed agents 24/7.
Frisky's World. Whoa, so many choices. Look, extra gravy. And little soups. There's the shreds. Yeah, Frisky's has it all. I want it all. Can I have it all?
Feed their fantasy.
Frisky's.
Coors Light is cold packaged. For peak refreshment. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
Want to stay a little bit longer? Travelocity is there for you. Not right in the room, that'd be awkward. But you know, online, on the phone, when you realize you want to extend your stay. Travelocity. Wander wisely.
Incomparable design makes it beautiful. State-of-the-art technology makes it brilliant. The visionary Lexus NX.
Lease the 2019 NX300 for $359 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
We're finally back out in our yard.
But so are they.
The triple threat of dandelions, lurking crabgrass, and wheat-thin grass. Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. This single-step breakthrough changes everything. It kills weeds, prevents crabgrass for up to 4 months, and feeds so grass can thrive, all guaranteed. Only from Scott's.
Our backyard is back.
This is a Scott's yard.
Hey, look. They got one of those purple mattresses. I've heard about these. It's supposed to sleep cool, and it's specially designed to cradle your pressure points. Huh? Freeze!
Who in life means the most to you? How do you protect her, or him, or them? With Haven Life, you get term life insurance that's actually simple. Our process is online. Our policy is backed by Mass Mutual, an industry leader. And our rate? Well, frankly, it's probably more affordable than you think.
Ready for peace of mind? Text us now and get your real rate.
Join Liana Brackett.
And here we go.
Paul Goodlove.
If you like that, I got more on the way.
And Dr. Greg Postel. Weekend mornings starting at 9 on Weekend Recharge.
A lot of active storms for us this evening, including tornadoes across Virginia and North Carolina. Dr. Forbes following very closely for you.
Yeah, indeed. Quite a few tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings now all the way up to the West Virginia border. We'll continue to monitor these. And even behind that, down near the Roanoke area, we have yet another round of storms coming through. But it's two areas here on the Virginia-North Carolina border, north of Raleigh, and then northeast parts of North Carolina, where we have the tornado warnings. Wilmington, North Carolina, severe thunderstorms coming right into you. Let's take a look at the tornado warnings. No longer any tornado warning for the Norfolk area. Had one earlier. The storms have moved offshore. More storms, though, could be headed your way. Where the strongest storms are right now, this is South Central Virginia near the South Boston, Clarksville area, Chase City area, Charlotte, Halifax counties with the tornado warning. As within this particular storm, heading up near the King's Crossroads area, the Bacon Elementary School area, a storm that has pretty strong rotation. Can you see the reds and yellows there? This is the counterclockwise circulation. So that is going to be heading up toward north of the Clarksville area, toward the Highway 15 area, and then ultimately toward the Highway 92 area west of Chase City. So be on the lookout to be taking shelter in those areas. Several storms rolling up across this area near Roxborough, Granville, and Person counties with tornado warnings. One of them is up near the Triple Springs, the Virgilina area, right near the Virginia line, and then heading up toward Midway in the Dryburgh area. It has actually now moved into Virginia, just to the north and west of Virgilina. So that will be heading into the area between South Boston and Clarksville along Highway 58, about halfway between the two. Then the next storm down the line is very close to Roxborough right now. That one is coming right up into Roxborough, the Gentry Store area, the Triple Springs areas. There it is right over the northeast side of Roxborough. So that too is going to go up very close to Highway 49, right back up into that Virgilina area. So this has been the corridor for the storms rolling across North Carolina. Now this storm is a much different character. A big backward sea, bow echo, blasting its way northeast right into the south suburbs of Raleigh. Raleigh, you have severe thunderstorm warnings, as do basically all the areas to the south. Harnett, Johnston, and Sampson counties for the threat of damaging winds. And a single tornado warning here ahead of those lines. A smaller storm, Halifax County, was still a tornado warning. Still some circulation there near the Tillery, the Boone's Crossroads, the Faisons, Branchville area, as that one still, despite being a little bit smaller, still south and west of south and east of Halifax, and going to be heading up in between Halifax and Rich Square. Still a possibility of a tornado there. So Mike, still very, very active. It's going to stay that way into the evening hours.
Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. Let's take you to a place where we could experience that severe weather. That is Richmond, Virginia. Our Justin Michaels is there. Just not only are tornadoes in the cards for us, you know, historically, Richmond has had numerous parts of town that had flooded very easily as well.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and the concern there is real here tonight. In fact, Mike, because of that flash flood watch in place right now, and the potential is these different storms fire up and begin to come through the area, and especially that main line of storms eventually going to get here sometime after 8 or 9 o'clock. Could we see as much as 3 inches of rain? And we do know a city like Richmond will eventually have flooding issues, and you can see the skyline of Richmond right over there. We're not too far from downtown, and yes, that place does know what to do during floods. They have to deal with it quite often. But flooding is not the only issue here. Okay, we also have a tornado watch. That's in effect until midnight. So the threat is real, folks, and it's something that we all have to take seriously, and we only have to use history as a guide to know what this storm has the potential of doing. Of course, we know It is a deadly storm. 4 people have died. We also know other people have been injured. We know that trees have come down. We know that there has been damage from potential tornadoes that have hit the ground. We know, that severe weather has come through many towns because of this storm. So people here in Richmond certainly have to prepare. And it's probably made a lot worse in this part of the country, only because where other parts were able to deal with these types of storms throughout the day, the expectation is the real nasty weather associated with all this turmoil in the atmosphere is going to hit here after it gets dark. So we were talking with AAA earlier here on the Weather Channel about best practices, and AAA really hopes that a lot of people may delay their Easter travel. Don't do it today. Wait until tomorrow, Mike, because tomorrow all this is going to be through, and it's certainly going to be a safer travel day. But, Mike, they were saying, if you get yourself caught in one of those squalls, those really nasty bouts of weather, try to pull off, take as much cover as you can, and wait until that thing goes through. The worst thing you can do is continue to drive, especially on a major highway like 95 or 64, those main thoroughfares going through here. That can be a dangerous situation.
Yeah, getting caught in your car out in this weather is not what you want to do. If you can put it off and be safe, that's great advice. So Justin, thank you so much. We'll be back with Justin here throughout the evening as he monitors the weather there in the capital. All right, let's bring back in Dr. Forbes, talk more about the tornado warnings, and a new one just issued, Dr. Forbes.
Yeah, a brand new tornado warning in that Bow Echo southeast of Raleigh that I was talking about. A circulation is developed. So we're talking about, here's Raleigh, so we're talking about southeast of Raleigh, Johnston County with a tornado warning. A little bit of a curlicue there embedded in that Bow Echo, that line. There's the curlicue I'm talking about. So it's near the Smithfield area, heading up toward Pine Level, Kenley, Bailey, and Momire areas as it goes off quickly, 45 miles per hour or so toward the north and east. And it has very quickly developed the strong circulation. Can you see the green couplet, the red going southeast? That is going to be heading up toward I-95, just to the east of the Smithfield area, and then heading up toward the Kenley area. So a dangerous storm there. Let me take a quick look at this if I can and see if there's any debris signatures showing up on this one. Fortunately, at the moment, no debris showing up, but it is a young circulation. Sometimes, even if we have a tornado in progress, it takes about 5 minutes for the debris to get high enough up in the atmosphere that the radar can see it at the radar level. So many dangerous storms still in progress yet tonight, Mike.
All right, Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. And we hope you can stay with us, folks. When we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about the timing for these storms, including all the storms that are about to roll through the Northeast. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore in particular, we think some really heavy storms come through the Delmarva for you, but also going to watch some storms roll up toward maybe D.C., Hartford as well. But that intense line here down through the mid-Atlantic certainly going to cause some issues for us. Not to mention, we're going to have some wraparound rain here, including the Ohio Valley, I-71, then back down through maybe a place like Nashville as well. So a couple different areas where stormy weather will plague us through the night tonight and early tomorrow. Early weekend, low pressure here taking hold, but starts to shift its way out. One thing you'll definitely notice, a lot cooler weather in behind. We're back after this.
With my hepatitis C, I felt I couldn't be at my best for my family. In only 8 weeks with Mavyret, I was cured and left those doubts behind.
I faced reminders of my hep C every day, but in only 8 weeks with Mavyret, I was cured.
Even hanging with friends, I worried about my hep C, but in only 8 weeks with Mavyret, I was cured.
Mavyret is the only 8-week cure for all common types of hep C. Before starting Mavyret, your doctor will test if you've had hepatitis B, which may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B, a liver or kidney transplant, other liver problems, HIV-1, or other medical conditions, and all medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Don't take Mavyret with atazanavir or rifampin, or if you've had certain liver problems. Common side effects include headache and tiredness.
With hep C behind me, I feel free.
Fearless.
And there's no looking back, because I am cured.
Talk to your doctor about Mavyret.
So Kim, you going for a big Drive Safe and Save discount?
Yep, using the app. I've been quite vigilant.
Sharon says step on it, the meeting started.
Okay, write her back. Dear Sharon, don't mess with my discount.
Faster, Mommy, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I do too, honey, but we're gonna hold it for Mommy's discount.
Easy, easy. But you're in labor.
Don't mess with my discount!
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.
Ryan! Yeah, Mom? We gotta go. Okay.
That
That's gross, but it happens. Call Stanley Steamer and get back to clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Stouffer's lasagna with meat and sauce has 2 times the beef of the leading meat sauce lasagna. That's double the tender ground beef baked into every cheesy, mouth-watering bite. When it comes to irresistible taste, more is always more. Stouffer's.
Bear presents Outdone Yourself. Staining Be Done and stay done through every season.
Done. Done. Done, 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 done.
Bear semi-transparent stain. Overall, #1 rated. Stay done for years to come. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
Done.
I drive up, I bring people dish. I love it. Why? Because what I bring makes people go, whoa. Over 80,000 on-demand movies and shows. A voice remote that leaves them speechless. Live TV streamed instantly. And it's all getting us some pretty big awards, but my reward is that moment when I let them drive.
Wow. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dish. Tuned into you.
Attention on deck. We're zeroing in on IHOP's breakfasts. Brace for pancakes, French toast, or extra meat.
IHOP and Go acquired. Let's move out.
Breakfeasts. Order online and save $5.
Well, here we are now, day 3 of a severe weather outbreak. This one producing a lot of tornadoes today, Dr. Forbes. It seems like numerous storms today, just like that, are popping them.
Yeah, today, unlike yesterday, we have a number of these individualized supercell thunderstorms, and those have a higher chance of producing tornadoes. And sometimes they can be long-lived, strong tornadoes as well. We also have some circulations in the line. I'll show you some of those. But severe thunderstorms here and there, now all the way from the West Virginia border down into the areas near Wilmington, North Carolina. Embedded in that, or one ahead of that supercell ahead of the line, and then embedded in amidst that line, some broken storms there in areas near the North Carolina-Virginia border that are well to the north of the Raleigh area. We'll take a look at those tornado warnings first. You see 1 and then 2 storms coming northeast quickly up through this tornado warned area. So Charlotte and Halifax counties, you have tornado warnings. One of those is in the area west of Chase City. It's near the Wiley'sburg area, the Ontario area, as it moves quickly off toward the north and east. There it is right now, very close to Highway 360 west of Chase City. The red's northbound, the green's going southbound. Looks like it'll probably head up Highway 15 toward the area west of Rehoboth. So you should be seeking shelter in those areas. A little bit of a weaker circulation on its way toward that same area where the previous circulation is. This one is east of South Boston. It is passed now north of Highway 58. Then the next storm down the line is pushed north of the Roxborough, North Carolina area. It's heading up toward the Virgilina area and heading toward places like Mayo and the Hyco area. It, too, has moderately strong circulation right across the Virginia-North Carolina border now, near the Highway 501 area, Highway 96 area, in the areas west of Virgilina, now just into the Virginia area south of South Boston. And this is the different character of storm. This is the one that's a circulation embedded in the line, and that circulation right there, south and east of the Raleigh area. Severe thunderstorm warning all the way from Raleigh down to Clinton and getting close to and into the Goldsboro area as well. But embedded in that, a tornado circulation, little curly cube right here near the Selma area. Let me adjust this. These storms moving very quickly today. That would be the circulation right there, heading up toward places like Kenly and Bailey, Sims, Nashville, North Carolina, and the Red Oak area. And here is the circulation with this one. Not quite as strong as it had been. This particular circulation has weakened some. A little bit of a shear over here near the Princeton area. area. So that's the character of some of these storms. They rotate quickly, briefly, and then a new rotation will form somewhere else in that line. Some good news here. This storm that had been near the Enfield area that had a tornado warning as it comes toward the area of Virginia line south and east of Emporia, that storm is weak and no longer tornado warned. And quite a line of severe thunderstorms coming in across area near and into Wilmington, North Carolina right now, with severe thunderstorm warnings for Brunswick, New Hanover, and Pender counties in North Carolina. Tornado watch goes all the way up into Maryland, Virginia, the Washington, D.C. area, as some of these storms, this cluster especially that's down south central Virginia, will be heading up that way, Mike, and even still some severe thunderstorms down in the Florida area.
To go along with all these severe storms, we've had a lot of rain and a ton of flooding is happening. I want to show you Nancy Creek here in Atlanta. And look how muddy the water is here, how much rain has fallen for us. A lot of creeks and streams are running full bore. They are all out rain for you right now, and those things are running fully to the top of their banks or out of their banks in this situation. Now, some of that flash flooding could be quite dangerous to you and your family. Dr. Knapp, following that very closely, a couple different areas that they're seeing high water right now.
Yeah, it's been a very dangerous day in places like North Carolina. Hendersonville, for example, have been multiple water rescues, and that's just a taste of what's to come places to the north of there. In D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York, tonight into tomorrow morning, flash flooding is a distinct possibility. And to give you motivation to take this seriously, let's take a look at what's been happening to your south, especially in places from northeastern Georgia up through western North Carolina into southwestern Virginia. The latest flash flood warning to be issued is in effect in Lynchburg until 10:45 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Very heavy rainfall has been happening. A little break right now. More is on the way for hours to come. We still have flash flood warning in the Asheville, North Carolina area till 6 p.m. Eastern time. That could be extended. And then the real problem spot has been Hendersonville, North Carolina. Flash flood warning extended there till 11:15 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Even though the rain has stopped, a little more is on the way. But Mike, it's going to take hours and hours for all of this water to recede. But up in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, the rain is yet to come.
And some of those issues there in western North Carolina, Dr. Knapp, made worse by the terrain.
Yes,
so
low spots are very dangerous.
Yeah, all right, Dr. Knapp, thank you very much. And we come back, more from our experts, and we take you live to Richmond, Virginia. We're back after this.
How well does your financial advisor know you? If they saw you on the street, would your advisor recognize you? At Ameriprise, we see you as more than a client. That's why our advisors care about what's important to you. They offer personalized advice to help you prepare for what's expected and even what's not, giving you the freedom to live financially confident. Because to us, you're more than just another face in the crowd. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Don't tell your mother.
Dad, it's fine. We have
Allstate. And with Claim Rate Guard, they won't raise your rates just because of a claim.
That's why you're my favorite.
I know. Are you in good hands?
Let's all experience something together. This beer, so pure you can taste it. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold. Beer in its organic form.
On Travel Channel.
I'm Jack Osborne.
And I'm Katrina Weidman.
And on our new show, we're investigating the darkest, most sinister places. Is something here with us right now? That sounded like a growl.
All new series, Portals to Hell. Next Friday at 10 on Travel Channel. And stream a sneak peek on the Travel Channel app.
This is Dyson's latest vacuum. Its V11 motor delivers more suction power than most corded vacuums. A battery-saving trigger preserves battery life. A high-torque motor directly drives the brush bar. Carbon fiber filaments remove fine dust, and stiff nylon bristles dig deep into carpet.
It's got twice the suction of any other cord-free vacuum.
It makes deep cleaning so easy.
Discover new San Pellegrino Essenza. A twist of Mediterranean flavors with the gentle bubbles of San Pellegrino. Add a twist of flavor. San Pellegrino Essenza. Tastefully Italian.
If you live with diabetes, why fingerstick when you can scan? With the Freestyle Libre 14-day system, just scan the sensor with your reader or iPhone and manage your diabetes. With the Freestyle Libre 14-day system, a continuous glucose monitor, you can check your glucose levels anytime without fingersticks. Ask your doctor to write a prescription for the new Freestyle Libre 14-day system. You can do it without fingersticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Our Hillshire Farm craftsmen start the day slow roasting turkey for incredible flavor. Then they double seal every slice for freshness. The results? Well, they speak for themselves.
Nothing outlasts Energizer Ultimate Lithium. Hey, you can't do that. Can he do that?
Yeah, he's good.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium. It's the #1 longest lasting battery.
Well, thanks for staying with us here on Weather Underground as we follow severe weather for you. Dr. Forbes, all over the radar tonight. Tons of severe thunderstorms out there and numerous tornado warnings as well.
Yeah, indeed. The number of tornado warnings, fortunately, has gone down for the moment. Hopefully, it will not go back up again. But quite a broken line of thunderstorms all the way now from the areas of the northeast corner of West Virginia, near the West Virginia border, down across in through the Raleigh area and down to Wilmington, North Carolina. And that's where all of the, well, all but a little bit, there's a little bit of severe thunderstorm activity yet in and around behind that down near Roanoke. Let's take a look here. We'll start with the tornado warned storms. We have tornado warnings. These are in areas of South Central Virginia, in the South Boston area, heading up toward Keysville, Charlotte and Halifax counties with tornado warnings. Now, there's more than one, in fact, 3 storms in a row rolling up through this warned area. So one of these is right now near the Bacon Elementary School, heading up toward Keysville and the Briery area. You see some of the approximate times there. These storms going very fast, about 45 miles per hour. There's the first circulation. It's one of the strongest ones. It's in the area west of Rehoboth, going across the area north of Highway 360, coming right across Highway 47 at this time, north and west of Chase City. Weaker circulations then in the areas now north and east of South Boston, but south and east of South Boston, another a bit stronger circulation. And that's the storm that is just to the north of Virgilina. So be on the lookout in places like Omega and Wolf Trap and the Scottsburg areas for that possibility of a tornado with this circulation. So Doppler radar indicates a possibility of a tornado there south and east of South Boston, yet again heading toward the Highway 58 area where the previous storm has gone. Then this bow echo that could be giving damaging winds all across the area from east of Raleigh now to heading toward Wilson, the Goldsboro area, all under severe thunderstorm warning. But Johnston County, there had been a circulation developed there. One of these little curlicues coming out the west side of the line. We had seen those yesterday. That was most of our tornado warnings yesterday. Seems as if that circulation has weakened, but still a bit of a circulation here in the area just to the north of Kendley. And a brand new tornado warning has come in now for Buckingham County in Virginia. This line of thunderstorms continues severe down all the way into the Wilmington, North Carolina area. And severe thunderstorms, as I mentioned, up in Virginia, West Virginia, Hampshire, Hardy, Mineral counties, heading toward the Front Royal, Virginia area, down into the Charlottesville area. And here, just to the south of that, is our brand new tornado warning that has come in for areas just to the east of Lynchburg now, Buckingham County, in the areas just to the north of Farmville. So dangerous storms, Mike, out there and going to be building their way, unfortunately, toward the Baltimore, Washington area.
Yeah.
They're getting into more and more highly populated areas.
It becomes a target there. Baltimore, D.C., down toward Richmond. So everyone, please be aware of those storms that are coming your way. And, of course, Dr. Forbes is going to be on the radar for us this evening, keeping you up to date. I want to take you to Lynchburg, Virginia. Virginia, as Dr. Forrest is alluding, we have warnings all around us. Very wet conditions for you right now. Low-lying areas are going to have some water. So not only are severe thunderstorms and tornadoes going to be an issue, flooding may be an issue as well. To talk more about that flooding, we have our Dr. Rick Knabb with us here this evening. Where to begin, because there are flood warnings everywhere.
Yeah, tremendous fire hose of tropical moisture coming up through Georgia, the Carolinas, Virginia, and it's headed north from there. We have a lot of flash flood warnings currently in effect, and we have some new ones to tell you about. Let's go from south to north. Here we have in the southern part of this whole system, especially in North Carolina, in the mountains where the low spots are really filling up with water. That's where we've had tremendous amounts of rainfall, more than half a foot in some spots. We have flash flood warnings still in effect in Hendersonville, where there have been multiple water rescues during the day today. That flash flood warning got extended. It's in effect until 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Asheville, North Carolina, still under flash flood warning until 6 p.m. More rain is on the way, and it's taking a while for all that water to drain. Be alert for that flash flood warning possibly to be extended. Just northeast of there, Boone, you're under flash flood warning until 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now let's go into central Virginia. Okay, so southwest of Roanoke, we've got the city of Galax in flash flood warning until 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Interstate 81 between Bristol, Tennessee and Roanoke. If you get off on the side roads on the low spots, you could really get yourself into trouble. Lynchburg, Virginia, one of the newest flash flood warnings is in effect till 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Really heavy rain resuming. It's more of the same going to happen much into the night, into early tomorrow morning. Rounds and rounds of heavy rain. And here's a brand new flash flood warning in Halifax County in south central Virginia. Includes South Boston, in effect till 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, where is all this headed? Northward and eastward. So in D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, much of Pennsylvania and New York, later tonight into early tomorrow morning, Mike. Some of what you're seeing down in North Carolina is going to happen where you are. And we've had multiple water rescues. We've had people stranded in their communities because of rising water. That's the kind of thing that can happen farther north later tonight.
And you say it a lot. Getting in your car is probably the worst thing you can do in situations like this.
That is the most common way that people find themselves getting into trouble in flash flood situations. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. So don't drive around barricades. Don't drive onto any water-covered road, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. Dr. Knabb, thank you so much. And Dr. Knabb, of course, going to be on top of those warnings throughout the evening. When we come back, more on the tornado threat across the mid-Atlantic, including the state of Virginia. That's when we return.
You can't buy family bonding moments like this. Actually, you can. And with the Travelocity Price Match Guarantee, you won't lose any sleep over how much you paid. Travelocity. Wander wisely.
Moving. That's harder now because of psoriatic arthritis. But you're still moved by moments like this. Don't let psoriatic arthritis take them away. Taltz reduces joint pain and stiffness and helps stop the progression of joint damage. For people with moderate to severe psoriasis, 90% saw significant improvement. Taltz even gives you a chance at completely clear skin. Don't use if you're allergic to Taltz. Before starting, you should be checked for tuberculosis. Taltz may increase risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, symptoms, or received a vaccine or plan to. Inflammatory bowel disease can happen with Taltz, including worsening of symptoms. Serious allergic reactions can occur. For all the things that move you, ask your doctor about Taltz.
Creating the perfect night just takes a little creativity. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Corona Premier. And Doug.
What do all these people have in common, Limo? Exactly. Nothing. They're completely different people. That's why they need customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual. They'll only pay for what they need. Yes, and they could save a ton. You've done it again, Limu. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I don't keep track of regrets, and I don't add up the years. But what I do count on is Boost.
Delicious Boost High Protein Nutritional Drink has 20 grams of protein, along with 26 essential vitamins and minerals. Boost High Protein. Be up for life.
Remember childhood? And these little red boxes? And the sweet little sun-made raisins. Life was always play. And worries, what were they? Remember childhood? Don't forget, it never left.
Who in life means the most to you? How do you protect her, or him, or them? With Haven Life, you get term life insurance that's actually simple. Our process is online. Our policy is backed by Mass Mutual, an industry leader. And our rate? Well, frankly, it's probably more affordable than you think.
Ready for peace of mind? Text us now and get your real rate.
Thank you so much.
New purple, eh, Deb?
He's always wanted to try one.
Well, they have a 100-night trial, so...
Everyone wants to sleep better, and can. Purple makes it easy with free shipping and our 100-night trial. For a limited time, get a free Purple pillow with mattress purchase at purple.com/TV.
Come on, let's go!
All week long, get your fix with a marathon of Highway Through Hell.
Ain't it a beautiful thing?
Every night this week starting at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Staying with us live here on Weather Underground, I'm Justin Michaels, live for you right now, right on the James River. Yes, I'm out on the river tonight, right outside of Richmond, Virginia. And I'll tell you what, folks, tonight could be a pretty nasty night here in Richmond, Virginia, because of the intense line of storms we have been following on the Weather Channel all day long. We have seen 4 deaths because of these storms. We have seen people injured because of these storms. We've seen property damage because of these storms. And they're all going to be hitting here sometime after 8 or 9 o'clock in the greater Richmond area, which means that's really a worst case scenario, because not only are they going to come, and we know they're going to come, but they're going to be hitting here after dark. So you need to have that safe place identified. You need to know exactly what you're going to do if, worst case scenario, tornadic activity pops up. We have seen tornado warnings all over the place. We've seen tornado watches. In fact, we're in one right now. We're also in a flash flood watch here in Richmond right now. So these are very serious storms. We've seen a peak wind gust at RIC, Richmond International, of 23 miles per hour today. But Mike, we know that that is a very small number compared to some of the numbers we're seeing. And in fact, looking at the forecasting for Richmond, Mike, we could see 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts here as this line of storms is coming through. So this is the time to be preparing. And Mike, we know we're going into Easter weekend. AAA is asking people if you can delay your travel until tomorrow. That's probably the safest bet.
Yeah,
Mike,
for sure. And knowing that, listen, we're in a pine forest there in Richmond, 70, 75 mile an hour winds could be very, very dangerous and come down on homes. So everyone be safe tonight for sure. Yeah. Justin, thank you so much. And we'll have reports from Justin throughout the evening tonight. Let's get right back to Dr. Greg Forbes with the latest on those tornado warnings, especially across Virginia right now, Dr. Forbes.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Some new tornado warnings have been issued. They're basically all embedded storms in a line from central Virginia down into north central parts of North Carolina, and they are heading their way, marching as a line toward the Richmond area. So as Justin said, we definitely will be paying close attention to that. They also could be working their way toward the Washington, D.C. area as the storms individually go northeast. Here's one of the newer tornado warnings. Buckingham County. You see Richmond is off here to the east, and so we're talking about closer to the areas north of Farmville and the Dillwyn areas of Virginia. This storm moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour toward the Dillwyn area, the Gold Hill, the Arvonia, the Fork Union areas as it goes northward. Moderately strong rotation there, getting close to the Dillwyn area, and it's going to be generally going pretty close to the Highway 15 area. On its flanks, we've been following this storm. It's getting close to the Keysville area now, so it's moving into some new counties of Virginia, Lunenburg, Prince Edward counties, as it continues off toward the north and east. I need to update the position on this as these storms move pretty quickly. So that one is close to Keysville right now and heading up toward the Briery area, if I'm pronouncing that that right. And there is some rotation. This is not optimal location for seeing some of these rotations, but right around the Keysville area. Following on its heels, several additional storms coming across Charlotte and Halifax counties, one of which is this one here that is just to the south of Halifax County location. Let me just do a little update on this one also. Public Fork and the Formosa areas are the locations most endangered by this one. You can see this rotation a little bit more strongly. It is off to the north and east of the South Boston area, heading up toward Highway 15 in Virginia. Then down across the border into central North Carolina, Granville, Vance and Warren counties, a circulation just to the north and east of Oxford here. Can you see that little dog leg in the line? That's where the circulation, where the tornado possibly is, right close to the Henderson area right now, heading up toward the Townville area with a circulation. There you can see it, the reds northbound, greens southbound. So east of Oxford, heading up toward the Williamsboro area is where this tornado is located. This whole line of thunderstorms then, a big bow echo. It's past east of Raleigh, heading up toward Rocky Mount, the Wilson area, the Goldsboro area with damaging winds, gusts, and down into the Wilmington, North Carolina area, and up into the Blacksburg area, heading toward Roanoke. The next round of thunderstorms with the damaging winds, a possibility, Mike, coming up across. So multiple rounds, just like we saw yesterday, some of them containing the possibility of tornadoes.
Dr. Forbes, thank you so much. So a very busy evening for us for sure. And Dr. Forbes is going to have his eyes on the radar all night long, keeping you up to date on that. Boy, what a travel nightmare for us here in the eastern U.S. from South Florida all the way up through the northeast airports. There are some delays here that are pushing more than 4 hours across the northeast, and Boston down toward JFK. All the New York airports have significant delays. DC does as well. How about the storms just ripping through right now? There's Melbourne back through Fort Myers and Naples. Fort Myers a little bit better now. Naples, you're getting hammered. Those storms all pushing toward Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and we've had really significant delays here in South Florida at the airports here. MIA 75-minute delays right now. Gusts are up to 30, by the way, and that storm line's going to come through. So when that storm line comes through, I expect at least a very brief ground stop for us here at Miami and at Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood as well. There's a look at the delays that we're dealing with now. They've gotten better at D.C. That's good, better at IAD as well, but what a mess for us here. Philly, Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, Boston, significant delays here. Philly, hour and a half. That's the least amount of time you're going to wait. We've got 3-hour delays for us, pushing 3-hour delays here at Boston and JFK. I mean, it's an incredible headache for us right now. Our delays are pushing 4.5 hours or so here. There's a look at what's going on the current radar, and when you push this further in time here, what you're going to notice is a ton of storms happening along I-95 here. Eastern North Carolina gets hit. South Carolina and Georgia, you'll be in the clear. Florida, just the tail end of Florida down through South Florida will have the issues. But notice here, 4:30 in the morning, still hanging on here. Eastern North Carolina, Outer Banks, Hampton Roads here. And then a lot of the showers start to push out of the northeast. Return flow on the backside of our system brings in a good amount of rain here and a pretty decent squall there. Cleveland, Toledo, Detroit, down through Cincinnati as well. So early weekend, these are the areas that we're going to watch here, including showers across the Ohio Valley, could extend down into maybe Chattanooga and Knoxville. And then the heaviest of storms off the coastline here, but heavy rain and maybe even some thunderstorms for you here in southern and northern New England. So a couple of different areas to watch here. Wintry mix, by the way, at the highest elevations here through the mountains of East Tennessee and western North Carolina. I know, Easter weekend, and we're talking the possibility of a little bit of rain snow mix. When we come back, more on the storms racing through North Carolina and Virginia this evening and the threats that come with them.
Bear presents Tough as Walls.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
Bear Ultra, a top-rated interior and exterior paint. Paint, prime, protect, all in one. Now that's some great paint. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
It's just 1 minute. Nico, it's just one raindrop.
It's just 1/10 from pole position.
Just 1 second off first place.
No thanks. Come on, Nico, it's just one beer. I'm still driving.
I drive up, I bring people dish. I love it. Why? Because what I bring makes people go, whoa. Over 80,000 on-demand movies and shows. A voice remote that leaves them speechless. Live TV streamed instantly. And it's all getting us some pretty big awards, but my reward is that moment when I let them drive.
Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dish, tuned into you.
There's something you can't miss at Olive Garden. All new giant Italian classics starting at $12.99. 4 new specialties done up in a big way, like giant chicken parmigiana. All new giant Italian classics, only for a limited time at Olive Garden.
Now that I've got you here for a minute, or two actually, I've got to tell you something. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase, every day.
My credit card only earns double miles on airline purchases.
Well, you earn double miles on this and on everything with the Venture Card.
Thanks. Hey, by the way, how'd you get in here?
Same way you did. Cross-checking.
Nice.
What's in your wallet? Oh, come on!
So Kim, you going for a big Drive Safe and Save discount?
Yep, using the app. I've been quite vigilant.
Sharon says step on it, the meeting started.
Okay, write her back. Dear Sharon, don't mess with my discount.
Faster, Mommy, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I do too, honey, but we're gonna hold it for Mommy's discount. Easy, easy.
But you're in labor.
Don't mess with my discount!
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.
Travel and dining just go together. Now Kayak and OpenTable let you earn travel rewards every time you dine. With just one reservation on OpenTable, you can start saving money on hotels with Kayak. Get started at kayak.com/dining rewards.
Tonight here on Weather Underground, following severe weather for you, including numerous areas where tornadoes could be a problem. Thank you for joining us. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis. In the lab tonight with Dr. Rick Knabb and Dr. Greg Forbes, and we want to get right to Dr. Greg Forbes, who's outlining that threat tonight for severe storms, including those tornadoes, Virginia in particular, Dr. Forbes, and we think I-95 at some point tonight becomes a danger zone.
Yeah, it really does. It's probably about a couple of hours away. The storm's right now in central Virginia, but they're moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour in a line, embedded storms in a line from right near the North Carolina border, the Virgilina area, up toward the central parts of Virginia. But you see where that will take it into toward the Washington, D.C. area and toward the Richmond area within a few hours. And the severe thunderstorms in this line go all the way down to Wilmington, North Carolina, and there's even a few severe thunderstorms in yet another round behind that. Let's take a look here. We'll start from north to south in that line of tornadoes. This is Virginia, north of Farmville. We're talking about Buckingham County. Over here to the right is Richmond. So we're still west of Richmond, heading individual storms northeast up Highway 15 near the Dillwyn area, heading toward places like Gold Hill, the Arvonia, Fork Union, Wilmington, Virginia, with a tornado warning. This is not exceptionally strong type of a rotation, so this is a modest, but definitely the storm is rotation. Sometimes they will intensify and produce a tornado pretty quickly. Here's one of the storms. There's several in a row coming up across this corridor southwest of Farmville, Virginia, Lunenburg, Prince Edward counties with a tornado warning. We've been following this one for quite some time. That one is up heading toward the Prince Edward area as it goes northeast. Several storms behind that, Charlotte and Halifax counties. This trailing one is the one that has had the strongest rotation. That's getting close to the Halifax County Academy area, the Formosa, the Sacs areas, as it's heading off toward the north and east. Again, moderately strong rotation showing up with this one. It is past north now of Highway 360. Then down just across the Virginia line into North Carolina, this is more of a kink in the line of thunderstorms now. Granville, Vance, and Warren counties down near the Henderson, Williamsboro area. A bit of a kink in the line here, taking a possible tornado up toward places like Townsville, the Woodworth area, Cusco-Willa areas as that one too gets up toward into Virginia. But you see some places in here where there's red and greens are coming pretty close to touching, but this is more of a line with a shear and the possibility of circulations in the line than some that we've seen prior to that. There were more individualized storms. Storms have passed through Raleigh, they're into Rocky Mount, Wilson, the Goldsboro area with severe thunderstorm warnings, and we're down into now all the way with that line to Burgaw, the Wilmington area. It's crossed just east in most places now of the I-40 area in North Carolina. Behind that, there are severe thunderstorms down into Augusta, Georgia, heading it toward the South Carolina line, Aiken, Burke, and Richmond counties, and in southwest Virginia, the Blacksburg area, heading up I-81 toward the Roanoke area, and all the way up into strong to sometimes severe thunderstorms in northeast West Virginia, heading toward Cumberland, Maryland, and Hagerstown, the front Royal Virginia areas, and at times severe all the way down to the Charlottesville area. So up in the upper right corner, you see there area, so strong storms, Mike, within a couple of hours now of also moving into Washington, D.C. areas. And with these clusters of thunderstorms comes the threat of heavy rain and flash flooding as well.
A lot of things going on for us this evening and numerous threats that we need to be aware of. I'm going to help you time all of this out and realize when the storms are coming in and when they'll be leaving you. For Charleston, heavier showers have come through. They're now pushing off to your east. But we can see more storms return in Columbia, as well as Charleston, and maybe up through the Grand Strand here. So here's the timing for us. Current time this evening. And now watch these storms come back in, maybe around, say, 8 or 9 o'clock, coming right through the capital here, right along I-95. Some of those storms could still be frisky getting into Charleston, but overnight, just about everything's now gone. That's good news for us. We need some time to dry out. For Charlotte, we've had some rough weather that's already come through. Scattered storms through the evening tonight. There's a look around 9 o'clock. Storms come through off and on with those through maybe about 11 o'clock or so. Some opportunities for some flooding will be there, but heads up if you're traveling I-77 or you're traveling, say, I-85, you're going to run into some problems there. We'd advise you to just watch these storms closely and avoid traveling in areas where storms could be hitting. For a place like D.C. and Baltimore, a few scattered storms through the next couple of hours. Then we've got a really strong line, we think, that comes through. Here we are about 9 o'clock. Storms are on our doorstep in D.C., maybe hitting us right in downtown Baltimore. Some stronger storms come in around, say, 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, and those storms could be severe thunderstorms. Wouldn't even rule out an opportunity for tornadoes with those. Same line that Dr. Forbes has been following here. 5 o'clock in the morning, some light scattered showers out there, but things are much improved tomorrow morning compared to what you're going to have this evening. Travel down I-95, you'll end up in the capital there in Richmond. Our Justin Michaels joins us there live this evening. Justin, boy, a really intense line just now to your west. Won't be long before it gets in there. Everything's on the table for us here. High winds, tornadoes, flash flooding.
Yeah, I see those tornado warning boxes out there basically blanketing everything to the west of us. People, please stay safe. And I'll tell you what, Mike, the scary thing is this is kind of the calm before that storm. And in fact, we just saw a break in the clouds. You can still see it a little bit. We see sun coming through the clouds up there. But please do not use that as a false sense of security that nothing is coming in this direction. We absolutely have every reason to believe that that weather that Mike was just talking about and all that nasty weather with tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings is coming in this direction. It's just a matter of time. So this is the time to prepare for something like that. This is the time to know where your safe place is. Where can you go in the event that you are in your home and all of a sudden you know there's a tornado warning and you're in the middle of it? What are you going to do? If you have family in town over Easter, where are you going to tell them to go? Where are you going to keep them safe? So this is one of those evenings that, though there is this beautiful evening right now for people to be out to dinner, enjoy the time, we know coming in a little bit of time, it's going to be over. So there is a tornado watch here right now. And there is also a flash flood watch. And you can see some video from earlier today we shot as a small storm of rain was coming across the area here. Of course, nothing like what we're expecting later tonight, but still we've had these pockets of showers coming through all day today. And in fact, it was earlier today around 1:30. A really nasty bout of weather came right across Richmond, and you can see the skyline of Richmond there. A really nasty bout of weather came through, and in fact, we had lights flickering in our hotel. Television stations were failing in our hotel just because of how tumultuous that was. So the energy is there, and the expectation is over the next few hours it's going to be here. And what can you expect when it does hit? Well, the potential for as much as 3 inches of rain could fall in a relatively short period of time, and maybe 70 to 70 mile per hour winds. That is some strong wind, folks. That is damaging wind. And we are seeing that kind of damage behind where we are, Mike. Richmond, off to the west. 4 people have died. Property has been damaged. We know that, those tornadoes, potential tornadoes, touch down west of where we are right now and southwest of where we are. So this is certainly a dangerous line, Mike. And I think that this is setting up here in the Richmond area with that false sense of security that people may have, saying, hey, they're wrong. It's a nice evening. Well, not so quick.
Yeah.
Just be careful with this night, right?
All
Mike?
you have to do is look at the radar, and it tells a completely different story, that's for sure. And so everyone needs to be ready. Justin, thank you so much for the report this evening. We know that flooding is going to be heightened throughout the remainder of the day, including here around Forsyth County, Georgia here. Look how high the water is. A lot of creeks and streams coming out of their banks and flooding surrounding locations. And we're hoping that you don't become a victim of that. But if high water is going to be an issue where you are, you need to know. So Dr. Rick Knabb following that for us. One thing I noticed there, at least in Justin's live shot, Dr. Knabb, was, sometimes there across the James River, there are places where it's so shallow, you can walk across on the rocks from one side to the other. There is no way you're doing that today. The water's already running high there in Virginia.
No, and there are so many reports already from Georgia through the Carolinas and into Virginia of creeks and streams overflowing their banks, and they're covering roads. You got to stay away from these creeks and streams and not drive on any water-covered road, not drive around barricades. There have been multiple water rescues and stranded communities to the south of where it's headed into Virginia and the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Let's take a look at the big picture here, where we have flash flood warnings from northeastern Georgia all the way into central Virginia. But there's a lot more rain on the way in some of these areas, and it's headed northeastward. One of the big problem areas today has been between Greenville and Asheville, in the Hendersonville area, where a flash flood warning has been extended until 11:15 p.m. Eastern time. The rain is not what it was earlier. Some places have gotten more than a half a foot. There's still some locally heavy rainfall yet to fall, but the problem is that all the rain that has fallen is taking a long time to recede. So as it gets dark and as the rain stops, don't get a false sense of security and get onto those roads. Emergency management wants you to stay off the roads in that area. Up in Boone, North Carolina, the flash flood warning is still in effect till 7 p.m. Eastern time. More rain could be on the way. And again, in these mountainous terrain, it's taking a long time for those low spots to completely drain. Up in Virginia, in the city of Galax, and also across from Galax in Hillsville, there's been reports of flash flooding very recently. So this flash flood warning means business, even though occasionally the rain lets up. The waters are still rising and more rain is on the way. That flash flood warning until 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now let's go farther to the east, near the North Carolina-Virginia border in Halifax County. Very heavy rainfall ongoing right now. That flash flood warning will be in effect till 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And Lynchburg has been doused by some very heavy rain, and there'll be a little bit of a break, but there will be more on the way later tonight. That flash flood warning till 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. It's headed northward, okay? So if you're in D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, much of New York, much of Pennsylvania, flash flooding is likely somewhere within these areas tonight and into tomorrow morning. The concern is so high that flash flood watches and flood watches are in effect all the way from the Norfolk, Virginia area all the way up into northern New England, Mike. So this is going to be affecting people all up and down the eastern seaboard. And again, I get more concerned as it gets dark because flooding is harder to recognize in your vehicle at night.
You have no idea how deep the water is, if there's even a road that exists underneath some of that. Dr. Knabb, thank you very much. More with Dr. Knabb coming up. Right back to Dr. Forbes, though, with new tornado warnings. Dr. Forbes.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. A brand new tornado warning, a circulation in that line of storms that I was talking about. It's off to the north and east of Raleigh. We're talking about northwest of Rocky Mount, Wilson areas of North Carolina, Halifax, Nash, and Warren counties. I think you can see the overall line, but it's no longer a straight line. You get these little kinky circulations within that, and those sometimes will develop tornadoes. So there's one of those that's just north of Castalia here, heading up toward Wood, the Old Bethlehem, the Essex, Lewis Crossroads areas, Northwest High School area, with a possibility of a tornado. Here you see the greens, that's the prevailing flow, but right in here just northeast of Castalia, there's a circulation that could be producing a tornado. As they say, that's generally going to be heading up toward the Roanoke Rapids area. So, Mike, a dangerous evening of possible tornadoes and damaging winds heading up from central parts of North Carolina up across central Virginia toward the Baltimore, Washington, and Richmond areas.
Thank you very much, Dr. Forbes. Really appreciate that. And you want to know the power that some of these tornadoes can have? How about what they did in Mississippi? This is in Morton, Mississippi, preliminary and EF2 tornado. Go ahead and pause that video right there if we have the ability to do that. Look at some of that damage right there. Look at this home. Roof's all gone, totally missing here, right? But look at the trees, too. Shredded at the top. And look at all these trees up here. Shredded at the top or snapped. Isn't that really stunning? And debris has been flung everywhere here. Let's go ahead and continue to roll that, and you'll see when you come down on that, there's debris up in the trees. So there was debris at some point lofted into the air. You can tell that. You can see more damage to a home here where the roof has been peeled off here. Same for you here. Roof is missing in these locations. And then you notice here, this is probably one of the factors that caused it to be an EF2 is right here. Notice we've got some walls that are now missing. Possibility we had a second story on that, it looks like. Roof is gone here. Part of this roof is missing, so likely the tornado path was more in this direction, whereas this home here may have been on the outskirts of the tornado, but really significant damage. And here's the other thing. Okay, roofs are peeled up, but look at the direction that this tree is laid down in this direction. This tree laid down in this direction. But then you have, homes like this where even is the roof? Looks like this roof here has been thrown in this direction. Okay, so now you've got debris that's being toppled or thrown in different directions. So likely you've got circulation going on here. But when you look at this from the air, you can really see, and even here you can see rows of debris that have been laid down in this direction. That might be actually over here, part of what was that house. So this is likely what was part of that house right there. So obviously some really significant damage here in Mississippi. There's where this home right here, this is where that debris went in this direction right here. So you get the feel of the different locations that debris was tossed or different wind directions within the circulation of the tornado itself. Again, this is Morton, Mississippi. This happening for us yesterday. This included a preliminary EF2 tornado. That would be the initial wind speed they assigned to it, but it could potentially even go higher. But obviously a lot of issues for us with some of these tornadoes, and we hope, we're keeping our fingers crossed, we don't see more issues like that across Virginia. But we do have, as we speak, more tornado warnings for you here. So this is Rocky Mount, North Carolina, by the way. New tornado warnings that have been issued here. These storms moving off to the northeast. Edgecombe, Halifax, Nash counties right now, all under tornado warnings currently. So storms likely past Rocky Mount. Right in there is the circulation pushing off towards, say, Highway 33 speed here. 70 miles an hour. So when these warnings are issued, you're going to have very little time to take shelter, get to your safe place right away. Basement or an interior room, put as many walls between you and the tornado danger as possible. More on these warnings with Dr. Greg Forbes when we come back.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
Drivers just won't put their phones down. We need a solution. Introducing Smart Dogs, the first dogs trained to train humans, stopping drivers from liking, selfieing, and whatever this is. Available to the public? Never. Smart Dogs are not the answer. But Geico has a simple tip. Turn on Do Not Disturb While Driving mode.
Brought to you by Geico.
Your first name is free, last name is dumb.
from man's white flower. It's in every living thing. Mind, use your power. Spirit, use your wings.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
Oh, Eric! I didn't know you were with the UPS store.
Yeah, we printed that sign.
I thought you just did shipping.
Oh, no, we do printing, packing, notarizing, faxing, shredding, mailboxing, taping, laminating, consulting, trading, designing, returning, and of course, shipping.
I can't feel my legs. I should really get him home.
From printing to packing to mailboxing, go to the UPS store for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
There's a bunch of whole almonds in every bar of Hershey's milk chocolate with almonds. Don't believe us? See back for details.
Our Hillshire Farm craftsmen start the day slow roasting turkey for incredible flavor. Then they double seal every slice for freshness. The results? Well, they speak for themselves.
Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot means today is the day for doing. Now's the time to stock up for the season. Get it delivered and do more with Spring Black Friday savings like these. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Try Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade. Are you ready to taste Nirvana?
Sir, you cannot be in the fountain.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the wonderful sounds of nature. Try Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade. Now in diet.
Hey, look. They got one of those purple mattresses. I've heard about these. It's supposed to sleep cool, and it's specially designed to cradle your pressure points. Huh? Freeze!
Time to go to work.
We do whatever we have to do to keep this highway open.
Whoa. This is crazy.
Heavy Rescue, Sunday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Numerous tornado warnings this evening. They've spread from North Carolina to Virginia, and now, Dr. Forbes, up through West Virginia and Maryland.
Yeah, this is a circulation in the far northern end of the line of thunderstorms that we've been tracking. It's up close to the Mason-Dixon line here with a tornado warning that includes parts of Maryland and West Virginia. Then a cluster of thunderstorms in central parts of Virginia, a cluster of thunderstorms with tornado circulations in a line north central to northeast parts of North Carolina. So here is, it just literally came out. It's coming up toward Hancock in Maryland, Allegheny, Morgan, and Washington counties with a possibility of tornado there. That includes places like Berkeley Springs and the Hancock area. This will be one of these circulations embedded in the line with strong rotation. Then individual supercell thunderstorms rolling northeast. This one is in parts of Virginia, Buckingham County, well to the west of Richmond. The circulation is coming up close to the Fork Union area now, near Wilmington, Virginia, and the Meltons, the Zion Crossroads areas. Some rotation, not exceptionally strong, but as I say, it's getting close to Fork Union, coming right up Highway 15. We've been watching this one for quite some time. Off to its south and east, Cumberland, Prince Edward counties in Virginia near the Farmville area. Circulation there heading up toward Rains Tavern, the McRae, the Oak Forest area. This one has strengthened a little bit. You see right near Highway 45, reds, and then there's one little pixel of yellow there. So that is heading up northeast of Farmville along Highway 45. Then southwest of that, a storm that's coming up across Charlotte and Halifax counties. That's off to the east of Phoenix near the Central Middle School area, the Cullen, the Taro areas as it goes off toward the north. The exceptionally strong in this one, but it is a possibility of a tornado there along Highway 47. Then these storms no longer tornado warned. Johnson, Nash, and Wilson counties, though, have severe thunderstorm warning. The circulation that had been producing a tornado has now gone into Virginia around the Elamton area. And you see, while it's not tornado warned, just to the south of Boydton there in Virginia, toward Highway 4, still a decent circulation. This is, again, one of those circulations in a line. They're even more strongly defined here, a little kink in the line in North Carolina, Halifax, Warren counties. That one near the Arcola area, heading up toward Roanoke Rapids, the Acre School area, with a possibility of a tornado. Look at that. There's the red and green couplet that is the possibility of a tornado. One of those tight little circulations is developed in the line. Next to that, south and east, some more circulations in the line in North Carolina. Edgecombe, Halifax, and Nash counties with a possibility of tornado. Near the Whitakers area, heading up toward Dawson Crossroads, the Spring Hill, Crowell's Crossroads areas with, again, a bit of a circulation there crossing Highway 33 at the moment. So, Mike, dangerous storms, and some of these circulations in the line, they're so transient. They come and go very quickly. So all of this whole line of thunderstorms coming across, and now north and east of Rocky Mount, Wilson, all the way to the Virginia line. Be on the lookout for damaging wind gusts and a chance of quick tornado spin-ups in that line.
All right, thank you, Dr. Forbes. And Dr. Forbes is going to have continuous radar updates for you, so keep it tuned right here to the Weather Channel. We've got a lot of storms that are going to be pushing their way along the I-95 corridor. That could include Richmond, Virginia. Our Justin Michaels is there this evening. Justin, numerous threats coming your way. The most dangerous, most violent certainly could be tornadoes.
Yeah, well, I'm looking to the west of us right now on one of our radar apps here, and I can see there are certainly tornado warning boxes off to our west. We're not talking far from where we are. In fact, give me a second. It's not far at all. One of these is 40, 45 miles away. That's not far at all, folks. Remember, you can drive that in less than an hour. And where is it? It's right over there. So you can see, maybe the semblance of some dark clouds in that direction off to our west. Well, that's where it's going to be coming from, and we're watching the clouds come from that direction all day long. I shot a time lapse earlier just to watch the clouds coming across. But to give you some perspective on where we are right now, this is the James River, and you can see Richmond, Virginia is right back there. So, folks, this is about the time where you want to be battening down the hatches and getting ready. Because let's just say that line of storms comes at us just the way it is right now. Of course, it's going to evolve and change, but let's just say it doesn't. Let's say it stays the way it is. Just to the west of us are tornado warnings. And we know that these tornadoes have touched down tornadoes in other parts of the country. And in fact, this type of weather has actually killed 4 people so far. Exactly what we're talking about. So this is the time to make sure your plan is sound, your plan is ready. If you're planning on driving this evening off to your Easter vacation, maybe you want to delay until tomorrow. And that's not me saying that. That's AAA saying it. Earlier on the Weather Channel today, we did speak with a representative from AAA. And though, of course, they're not telling people what to do, they're certainly advising you, if you are deciding to travel for Easter vacation, Mike, that maybe tomorrow is the better day to do that. We know there are delays and cancellations at airports all up and down the East Coast, Mike, and there have been ground stops as well because of how really serious and nasty this weather is. So we're going into the evening here in Richmond, and probably the worst scenario is setting itself up here because what's coming at us is likely going to hit after sun goes down.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have the luxury of the sun being up to see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, it's a Friday night, it's Friday before Easter. A lot of people have completely tapped out from the rigors of weather, if you will. They want to relax with family and what have you, and it's probably the last thing they're thinking about. All right, thank you so much, Justin. Justin can have reports for us here throughout the evening on Weather Underground. So we timed this out for you. Obviously, some really intense storms coming through North Carolina, Virginia, up through the Delmarva here this evening. As far as the future radar goes, I think it's got a pretty good handle on what the storms are doing right now, but more storms come through North Carolina, and then up through central Pennsylvania, through the panhandle here of Maryland. But D.C. and Baltimore, we get hit this evening. Here we are at 11 o'clock at night. A place like Philly or maybe up toward the Poconos here, but across the capital district of New York, we get hit. But really a lot of rainforest in New York. Then the storms, not to mention this, the storms from Cleveland in the morning, 5 o'clock, down toward Cincinnati, then down toward Nashville, and storms just getting off the coast here in North Carolina and Virginia. But you may still be dealing with something there, say around Virginia Beach and Norfolk. Then the northern bit of that line comes through Long Island here and through New York City. That's 11 o'clock in the morning, so lunchtime or so, you'll have some problems there. Then that storm line comes right up through New England for the remainder of the day. So we've got a little ways to go before we completely say goodbye to this system. Still going to cause us a few headaches here, we think, for the next 24 hours, but maybe not nearly as severe of weather as what we've contended with for the past couple of days. There's a look at the overall picture. Early weekend. Obviously wet for us here, especially Saturday across the Northeast, then back across the Ohio Valley. And how about this for a kicker? Cold enough air here in East Tennessee and in Western North Carolina with some of that rain could mix with snow, and it's Easter weekend. We're back with more right after this.
Friday Night Pizza Forecast, brought to you by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com.
At Domino's, we love pizza as much as you do. That's why we're giving you Piece of the Pie rewards points for eating any pizza from anywhere.
Pizza from here?
Yep.
How about from here?
That's right.
Homemade pizza?
I guess.
Homemade pizza?
That's a little better.
New York style. Deep dish.
Any pizza.
Download the Domino's app, scan any pizza, and you could earn 10 Piece of the Pie rewards points toward free Domino's. That means double points when you scan medium 2-topping Domino's pizzas, just $5.99 each when you order 2 or more.
I'm Jimmy Dean, and only one thing can make a morning like this any nicer.
A hearty, hefty, good-tasting breakfast.
With eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, and taters.
And when you finish, you know you had something to eat.
On Travel Channel.
I'm Jack Osborne.
And I'm Katrina Weidman.
And on our new show, we're investigating the darkest, most sinister places. Is something here with us right now? That sounded like a growl.
All new series, Portals to Hell, next Friday at 10 on Travel Channel. And stream a sneak peek on the Travel Channel app.
I drive up, I bring people dish. I love it. Why? Because what I bring makes people go, whoa. Over 80,000 on-demand movies and shows. A voice remote that leaves them speechless. Live TV streamed instantly. And it's all getting us some pretty big awards, but my reward is that moment when I let them drive.
Wow. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dish, tuned into you.
Discover new San Pellegrino Essenza, a twist of Mediterranean flavors with the gentle bubbles of San Pellegrino. Add a twist of flavor. San Pellegrino Essenza, tastefully Italian.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can tell you, but it's I can do. It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. It's your thing. Do what you wanna do.
Bear presents Tough as Walls.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint. Bear Ultra, a top-rated interior and exterior paint. Paint, prime, protect, all in one. Now that's some great paint. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
Let's see. Aleve is proven better on pain than Tylenol Extra Strength and lasts longer with fewer pills. So why am I still thinking about this? I'll take Aleve.
Aleve, proven better on pain.
How safe is the car you're considering? The 2019 Subaru Outback is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. The Honda CR-V is not. Sorry, Honda. Which SUV would make the best investment? The Subaru Outback has the best resale value in its class for 2019, according to Kelley Blue Book. Even better than the Toyota RAV4. Sorry, Toyota. It's easy to love a Subaru.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got...
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
Well, thank you for staying with us here on Weather Underground. We are following a lot of weather for you this evening, especially across North Carolina, Virginia, through the Delmarva. That's a live look at Norfolk, Virginia right now from the DOT cam. You can see it is soaker for you right now. And severe weather, we think, will be ongoing this evening that will even come across I-95. So for a lot of you, please heads up on these storms that are headed your way in Hampton Roads area. You're going to be a target, that is for sure. All right, let's bring in our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, for some more details on this, because you look at all these storms, Dr. Forbes, if they're not producing tornadoes, they're producing severe thunderstorms. But either way you slice it, it's dangerous.
Yeah, it really is, and it's not just one line either. It's multiple lines that go through. It's the middle line at the moment that has most of the threat in it, all the way from the Mason-Dixon line here near the Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia border across across central Virginia and then down into northeast parts of North Carolina. But there are occasionally, up near the Greenville area of South Carolina, some severe thunderstorms. And earlier, ahead of that middle line, we had a tornado warning in the Norfolk area. So right now, let's start north to south in that middle line here. We're talking about getting close to Hancock, Maryland, Allegheny, Morgan, and Washington counties. This will be a circulation embedded in a line that's sort of surging forward, almost like it was a bow echo with damaging winds, getting very close to Hancock. Let me adjust this just a little bit. As these lines going pretty quickly. This will be places like the Berkeley Springs area, Hancock, Johnson Mills, Yakel Mill. That would be over into the Pennsylvania area. So it's getting close to Pennsylvania as well. Here's Hancock, Maryland. So the broad red and green circulations are coming right across I-68 right at this point, and will then be coming across Hancock and up into Pennsylvania. Then down into, well, we've lost this one now. I've been following this one that's been coming up Highway 15. We have still in Cumberland County there, Virginia, a severe thunderstorm, a tornado warning. But this one still has a little bit of a circulation around the Wilmington area, getting close to I-64. If it re-intensifies, Zion Crossroads, Louisa, Ellisville areas. And you can see it's still near the Fork Union area. It does have a bit of a circulation. Reds north, green southbound, at least in a storm relative sense. Then we still have north and east of Farmville here in Virginia, Cumberland County. We've been following this storm for quite some time. It's getting close to the Oak Forest area, the Ashby, the Cartersville area. This is the storm that's closest to Richmond, due west, and it has a very intense circulation, tight couplet here of greens and reds just to the north of Highway 60. Let me take a quick look at this one and see if we have any debris signature. Fortunately not. If I had a blue speck or a green speck in the middle of all this lavender that indicates it's similarly oriented rain falling, if I had a blue speck in there, I'd be worried about that. The tornado warning that was in around the Keysville area now has expired. If that circulation intensifies, it would be coming up toward the Allens Mills area. Looks like the couplet on that one has gone away considerably. Now, more of these storms in the line. This one is in southern Virginia, Lunenburg, Mecklenburg counties. Tornado circulation there around the Buckhorn Elementary School area heading up toward the Opie area. This one has not extremely strong circulation in that, but there's a rotation there just to the southwest of South Hill. It has gone north and west now of Highway 1. Then coming up toward Roanoke Rapids, Halifax, Warren counties with the tornado warning in that. I think you could see the little kink in the line there close to the south of Rosemary area. Then that will be heading up into Virginia, the Barley area, the Brink areas. You can see more kinks in the line here down near the Halifax area as well. So lots of rotation in these storms with additional tornado warnings now up into Northampton County in North Carolina, as all of these kinks in the line back here could be producing tornadoes, including this one coming up toward Tillery, the Boones Crossroads, the Lasker areas. We take a look at the velocities on this. Fortunately, not extremely intense rotation showing up, but anytime we get those backwards commas in the line like that, Mike, it means there's at least aloft some chance that there's going to be a tornado that will form.
I know you've got your eye on it, Dr. Forbes. Thank you very much. Also keeping a very close eye on the flood risk for us tonight. And for that reason, joining us in the lab tonight is our Dr. Rick Knabb. There are so many areas where heavy rain has fallen, terrain has become a factor, or just plain old low-lying areas are filling up with water quickly.
And some places have gotten more than a half a foot of rain, and the threat for heavy rainfall is headed northward in places like Baltimore and D.C. Look at all of this heavy rain going through central Virginia right now, and more things are starting to train, where we're getting heavy rain going over some of the same spots over and over again. And to focus in a little bit on what's going on in Virginia here, south central Virginia, Halifax, this area, there's been some highways reported washed out. So get on the side roads, you are running into potential trouble. Lynchburg, Virginia, flash flood warning until 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. This is the kind of thing that could get to Baltimore and D.C. More with Justin Michaels in Richmond, more with Dr. Forbes on the severe threat when we come back.
What makes DiGiorno Crispy Pan Pizza different than delivery?
Pan, 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 pan.
Pan, pan, pan. You bake it fresh in its own pan, giving our DiGiorno pizza a crispy, caramelized crust. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Touch shows how we really feel. But does psoriasis ever get in the way? Embrace the chance of 100% clear skin with Taltz, the first and only treatment offering people with moderate to severe psoriasis a chance at 100% clear skin. With Taltz, up to 90% of people quickly saw a significant improvement of their psoriasis plaques. Don't use if you're allergic to Taltz. Before starting, you should be checked for tuberculosis. Taltz may increase risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, symptoms, or received a vaccine or plan to. Inflammatory bowel disease can happen with Taltz, including worsening of symptoms. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Ready for a chance at 100% clear skin? Ask your doctor about Taltz.
We're Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh, and you may remember us from your very first sandwich. Your Movin' Day feast. Your bold canine caper.
That's not for you, Panda.
Your dinner in the dark. Your mammoth masterpiece. Your 3:47 a.m. snack. And whatever happened here. Because we make Deli Fresh with all the good of the deli. No artificial preservatives and no added nitrates or nitrites. Make every sandwich count with Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh.
Straight from the world's best plant scientists comes Miracle-Gro Performance Organics. Organic plant food and soil that finally work. For twice the bounty, guaranteed. Miracle-Gro Performance Organics.
Jardiance asks, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, are you thinking about your heart?
Well, I'm managing my A1C, so I should be all set.
Actually, you're still at risk for a fatal heart attack or stroke. That's where Jardiance comes in. It reduces the risk of dying from a cardiovascular event for adults who have type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. That's why the American Diabetes Association recommends the active ingredient in Jardiance.
And it lowers A1C.
With diet and exercise.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, what do you think?
Now I feel I can do more to go beyond lowering A1C.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
Coors Light is cold packaged. For peak refreshment. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
This is Dyson's latest vacuum. Its V11 motor delivers more suction power than most corded vacuums. A battery-saving trigger preserves battery life. A high-torque motor directly drives the brush bar. Carbon fiber filaments remove fine dust, and stiff nylon bristles dig deep into carpet.
It's got twice the suction of any other cord-free vacuum.
It makes deep cleaning so easy.
Thanks for staying with us here on Weather Underground as we follow severe weather for you. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis. Here in the lab tonight with us is our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, updating you on the tornado threat that we have. And there are quite a few areas where severe weather is a problem for us tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really is now, all the way from the Maryland-Pennsylvania border down to the Virginia-North Carolina border, and even a little bit farther south into North Carolina. It's gradually working its way toward the Washington, D.C. and the Baltimore and the Richmond area. So red, we have tornado warnings in a number of these storms embedded in this general line, and even back around the Greenville-Spartanburg area, there's some severe thunderstorms yet behind this line. But we'll focus here on the tornado warnings. This is close to Hancock, Maryland, getting close to Pennsylvania, Allegheny, Morgan, and Washington counties with a kink in the line there indicating a possible tornado. That would be close to Johnson Mills, the Hancock area, the Yeagle Mill area, the Sylvan area, angling its way into Pennsylvania. Mostly what we're seeing here is this broad southeasterly flow ahead of the line, and then some places where the gusts inside the line are angling their way forward. I think now probably the tornado threat has moved out of the much of the warning area except due east and due north of Hancock, Maryland. Then just a little bit of an extension now of this tornado warning in Virginia, areas north and west of Richmond. Cumberland, Fluvanna, and Goochland counties. As this storm, we've been following this one for quite some time, has a circulation in that. It's close to the Oak Forest area, the Ashby area now, heading toward Lakeside Village, the Cartersville area, the Elk Hill areas. You can see the rotation there coming out of the old tornado warning into this new one. It is in between highways 15 and 45, well to the south of Fork Union, and heading off toward areas that will ultimately be east of Fork Union. Then the next individual storm down to the south of that near the South Hill area, Lunenburg and Mecklenburg counties in Virginia with a tornado warning. The kink right there near Opie, heading up toward the Bishop's Corner area with the tornado circulation. This one has weakened considerably. We've been following it for quite some time. Then several circulations in a line that's oriented northwest to southeast, right near the Virginia-North Carolina border. Now Halifax County in North Carolina with a tornado warning. That is angling its way, though, close to, and will probably move into Virginia near places like Gaston, the Emporia area, the Beaufort Crossroads areas with circulations. There you can see one of these red and green circulations, another right over Roanoke Rapids. There are some more down south and east of that, and hence there are additional tornado warnings for this line moving down into Northampton County toward, say, the Rich Square area. And anywhere in here, Garysburg, Rich Square, the Woodland, the Conway areas, pretty much anywhere, because of the quick circulations that develop in this line, you could see damaging wind gusts and maybe a short-lived but possibly rain-wrapped tornado, Mike, coming through these areas.
And that could be one of the keys there, rain-wrapped, which has been, it seems like the MO of a lot of tornadoes this entire outbreak, really.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah, and we're getting, by the way, pretty close to 700 total severe reports.
Oh my goodness.
Mostly wind and some tornadoes from this outbreak.
Be the worst event we've had so far this year.
3-day outbreak.
All right, Dr. Knabb, thank you. Or Dr. Forbes, thank you. Now to Dr. Knabb, talk a little bit more about the flood risk here, because once the sun goes down, you're really concerned about the danger people could be in.
Yeah, and later tonight, some big metropolitan areas like Baltimore, D.C., places in Pennsylvania and New York could be impacted by heavy rain and flash flooding. We've got two kind of modes of flash flooding going on right now. We have in western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, where we've had rain all day and we still have high water and a little bit more rain to come, and time yet required for those water levels to come down and for the low spots to no longer be covered in water. But now we've got flash flood warnings in south central Virginia and an increasing flash flood threat through northern Virginia, Baltimore, D.C., New York, and Pennsylvania. So let's again show you what's going on down south, where we've got multiple flash flood warnings, especially in western North Carolina. Hendersonville, North Carolina, one of the hardest hit spots today. Unfortunately, one more bout of locally heavy rainfall going on right now, and we've had so much rain all day, more than half a foot in some spots, a number of water rescues, water-covered roads, debris flows. It's just been a really rough day. That flash flood warning will stay in effect till 11:15 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Now here, southwest of Blacksburg, Virginia, you might be thinking, well, in Galax and Hillsville, this area, it's not raining anymore, no more problem. Unfortunately, it's been raining so much that we've had water covering the roads, and in Hillsville recently, water reported to be covering the roads. So even if the rain has stopped, you still have to be careful on the roads and be mindful not to go around any barricades and not to drive onto any water-covered roads. Don't get out and assume without rain that there still can't be flooding on roadways. A very heavy rain has fallen here in the Halifax area, south central Virginia, the South Boston area. Been reports from some local officials of some washed out roads. So if you're out and about, you're putting yourself at risk, and you don't want to get on any of those low-lying spots. Lynchburg, Virginia, flash flood warning after one bout of heavy rain. More to come. That's in effect till 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. But Mike, here's the next area of concern. Look at all this heavy rainfall in Charlottesville, and it won't be long before Baltimore and D.C. are getting in on all of this flooding.
Yeah, here we go. That's a tough-looking radar to look at for sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Knabb. We come back more on these warnings with our experts. Stay with us right here on the Weather Channel.
The Big Picture, brought to you by the UPS Store.
So Darren, you're with the UPS Store?
Yeah, we actually printed these invites.
Wow, I thought you guys just did shipping.
No, we do printing, packing, shredding, notarizing, mailboxing, faxing, binding, taping, laminating, copying, consulting, crating, designing, returning, and of course shipping.
Cool.
Nice costume.
It's my work uniform. Where are you going?
Go to the UPS store for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
Coors Light is cold filtered for brightness and clarity. The world's most refreshing beer. Coors Light.
Travel and dining just go together. Now Kayak and OpenTable let you earn travel rewards every time you dine. Earn points with each restaurant reservation on OpenTable and redeem them for hotel discounts on Kayak. Get started at kayak.com/dining rewards.
And Doug.
Look, Limu, a civilian buying a new car. Let's go.
Limu's right. Liberty Mutual could save you money by customizing your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, yeah, I've been a customer for years.
Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Silverado. It's the official truck of calloused hands and elbow grease. The official truck of getting to work and getting to work. Of late nights and date nights. It's the official truck of homecoming and coming home. The all-new Chevy Silverado. The strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. It's the official truck of real people.
What starts with premium American-made materials is then designed and transformed into the ultimate vehicle protection. And now goes further to secure your phone, along with protection around the home. Discover all the ways WeatherTech can help keep the things you care about protected at WeatherTech.com.
Who in life means the most to you? How do you protect her, or him, or them? With Haven Life, you get term life insurance that's actually simple. Our process is online. Our policy is backed by Mass Mutual, an industry leader. And our rate? Well, frankly, it's probably more affordable than you think.
Ready for peace of mind? Text us now and get your real rate.
Thank you so much.
New purple, eh, Deb?
He's always wanted to try one. Well, they have a 100-night trial, so...
Everyone wants to sleep better, and can. Purple makes it easy with free shipping and our 100-night trial. For a limited time, get a free Purple pillow with mattress purchase at purple.com/TV.
Look at the water.
Trusted.
I want to get right to it.
Reliable.
This is just beginning.
Accurate. You're watching America's #1 weather network, the Weather Channel.
Thank you for staying with us live here on Weather Underground. I'm Justin Michaels. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, live for you tonight, where we are just watching the clouds and the severe weather get closer and closer. Evidence of that is right behind me, friends. You can see how dark the horizon is as you go from the south and wrap around to the west. And eventually you're going to end up at the skyline of Richmond, Virginia. And that's the direction in which all this is coming towards the city of Richmond from the south and the west. And if any indication of what we're going to get presented itself earlier today and last night as this really intense line of storms that has now killed 4 people is putting down properties, damaging property, and really causing a lot of chaos for so many people, well, we might be in for quite the show here. If you were with us last half hour, I checked, it was about 45 miles away. I just checked, and the clouds you're taking a look at there, Mike, follow me again around this way. The closest point of them, guys, is about 18 to 20 miles away. So it's very close. And it's just a matter of time here before all that really nasty weather gets to us. And I was looking at the radar. There are tornado warnings all along that edge coming right here towards Richmond. So hopefully those expire before they get here. But if this storm is any indication as to what might happen, they're probably still going to be here. So this is the time, Mike, for people to prepare. It's about 20 miles away. In fact, I just heard thunder. So it's coming. It's coming.
Indeed it is. So everyone right now needs to get ready in Richmond. Justin, thank you so much. You think about where you're going to go when that tornado warning might be issued for your area. Is that a basement? Is it an interior room? Some place where you can protect yourself from that outside danger. Dr. Forbes, walk us through these warnings, what they mean for specific towns here across the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'll do that. And I'll also point out a severe thunderstorm watch now for parts of south central Pennsylvania, as this line of thunderstorms that earlier had a tornado warning up in Maryland Panhandle is pushing into Pennsylvania. The tornado warnings at the moment, central Virginia and the Virginia-North Carolina border off to the west of Norfolk and southwest of the Richmond area. So let's take a look here. Here is the remnant, what previously had been a tornado-warned storm around Hancock, Maryland, now up into the areas west of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania's Fulton counties. Still can never totally rule out a tornado developing in the circulation of this kind of a line. That line also continues over toward, it's marching its way along I-70 toward the Hagerstown, Maryland area. But the first tornado warning that we see now is farther south. It's in Virginia. Here's Richmond down in the lower right corner. So we're talking up closer to Columbia, Virginia, Cumberland, Fluvanna, and Goochland counties with a possible tornado. Up toward the communities, Lakeside Village, Columbia, the Beulah areas, Tabscott areas as it goes northeastward. There's the rotation center just to the south and east of the Fork Union area. It's Doppler indicated rotation, not extremely strong, but tornadoes can occur. Whoops, there's a brand new tornado warning there. Let me go back and grab this one. This one is a storm that earlier we were paying attention to. It's in the Brunswick, Dinwiddie, and Nottoway counties. The circulation had seemed to have weakened, but now it's coming back again. Now it would be in areas north and east of South Hill. We'll be going up the Highway 1, the Interstate 85 area as it heads up toward areas south of the Blackstone area. Then the next storm down is part of a whole arc of lines of thunderstorms, including the city of Emporia in Virginia, Brunswick, Greensville, and Northampton counties, as this line of thunderstorms pushes its way off toward the northeast. That also goes then into Southampton County and areas north and east of Roanoke Rapids over toward Murfreesboro. This northern circulation center is going up toward Emporia, Virginia, the Henry areas as it goes northeast. Here's one of these well-defined circulations in the line. There's another that is over into the area south of Emporia, and yet additional circulations over here near the seaboard area of North Carolina, south of the Virginia border. So that circulation goes over also into Northampton County with that possibility of tornadoes. I think you see one of those little kinks there showing up not only in the velocity but also in the radar pattern. So anywhere in this area from Capron areas of Virginia down towards Severn and the Murfreesboro, the Woodland areas of North Carolina still having the possibility of tornado circulations developing in the back end of the line. They may be hard to see coming because there's rain out ahead of that line of thunderstorms. Mike?
Dr. Forbes, thank you so much for that update. Obviously, we're going to have some issues when you take a look at what's going on for us here. I mean, this was the drive-in this morning in Atlanta, and what a rough drive it was for sure. At least 3.3 inches has fallen for us today in Atlanta. There have been some areas north side of town. We've had more than 4 inches. Caused a lot of standing water on the roads. It's caused the Chattahoochee River to be incredibly high. They're letting water out of some of the local reservoirs in the Atlanta area as well. Here's a look at the 6-hour rainfall. Really incredible stuff. Look at this line here, by the way. East side of Atlanta extends up into the upstate of South Carolina and then in North Carolina. And Dr. Knabb has really been focused on those areas there in western North Carolina where you've had those flash flood warnings because there's such an influence there from terrain. And by the way, Asheville Fire Department asking everyone in the Biltmore Village area to evacuate the area because expecting the river there to crest at 8 p.m. tonight. So a lot of high water happening for us in Asheville right now as well. Storms coming through the upstate, but right down through South Carolina. But boy, what an intense line. Dr. Forbes has really done a great job of just showing you how much severe weather is happening for us here in North Carolina, Virginia, and then northbound here. But look at this line about to come into Columbia, not that far away here. Already hitching Greenville. We got that one severe thunderstorm warning for you here around the Greenville-Spartanburg area. Really more Spartanburg than anywhere else. But that line's got some lightning in it. You're going to get some really brief heavy downpours. Pretty thin line, so I don't think you're going to get an extreme amount of rainfall out of that since it's moving at a pretty good clip. Nonetheless, any more rain is unwelcome considering the flood issues we have ongoing as we speak. There's a look at that future radar. Certainly a lot of rain and very stormy weather to go in the eastern half of the country. And again, this is day 3 of our severe weather outbreak. Storms roll up through the northeast through the night. That's 11:30 tonight. Getting soaked here in New York. But then notice here also more storms just kind of hugging the coast here. 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Those storms will come right up to Delmarva, Jersey Shore, Long Island, New York getting hit around lunchtime tomorrow. More coverage of severe weather when we come back on Weather Underground.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin and relief from symptoms caused by over 200 outdoor and indoor allergens, like those from pollen, pets, and dust. Because new memories start with dusting off old ones. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
I drive up, I bring people Dish. I love it. Why? Because what I bring makes people go, whoa. Over 80,000 on-demand movies and shows. A voice remote that leaves them speechless. Live TV streamed instantly. And it's all getting us some pretty big awards, but my reward is that moment when I let them drive.
Wow. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dish, tuned into you.
What makes DiGiorno Crispy Pan Pizza different than delivery? Pan, 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 pan.
Pan, pan, pan. You bake it fresh in its own pan, giving our DiGiorno pizza a crispy, caramelized crust. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
There's something you can't miss at Olive Garden. All new giant Italian classics starting at $12.99. 4 new specialties done up in a big way, like giant chicken parmigiana. All new giant Italian classics, only for a limited time at Olive Garden.
Bear presents Tough as Walls.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint. Bear Ultra, a top-rated interior and exterior paint. Paint, prime, protect, all in one. Now that's some great paint. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
It's just 1 minute. Nico, it's just one raindrop.
It's just 1/10 from pole position.
Just 1 second off first place.
No thanks. Come on, Nico, it's just 1 beer. I'm still driving.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got...
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
What's happening inside Average Underwear? What's happening inside Duluth Bullpen Underwear? Duluth Trading Bullpen Underwear with Stay Put Pouch. Keep your boys where they belong. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
This is Weather Underground, and we are following severe weather for you tonight. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis. It is day 3 of a severe weather outbreak. Ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings, and yes, even tornado warnings. And joining us live in the lab tonight is our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. Dr. Forbes, a very vigorous line of storms here coming especially through Virginia tonight.
Yeah, it really is. And some of that line is even severe all the way up into south central Pennsylvania, east of Bedford, and all the way down to areas east of Wilmington, North Carolina. The tornadoes are in red, central Virginia down to southeast Virginia, northeast corner of North Carolina. We'll mainly focus on those. They're previously on the north end of this big line of thunderstorms had been a circulation. It has gone up into Pennsylvania around the areas west of Chambersburg. So I wanted to point that out. You can never totally rule out a tornado there. Franklin and Fulton counties around the Air area would be the biggest circulation. That is heading over also with a damaging wind threat, perhaps into Hancock, Maryland. Then down into Virginia. Here down in the lower right corner is Richmond. So far we're west of there around the Columbia, Virginia area. Cumberland, Fluvanna, and Goochland counties, fast-moving storms right near Columbia at the moment. Possibility of a tornado. See a little bit of a hook showing up there. That's the indication, the kidney bean shape of the possible tornado. Stage Junction, the Caledonia, the Yanceyville areas as it goes off toward the north and east. And I may have just gotten a problem. My computer, I think, has just locked up, guys. So, okay, thank you very much. So here is the circulation that we're talking about on this. It is moving in the areas just to the north and east of Fort Union, heading up toward I-64, that will, and then ultimately down into areas southwest of Cuckoo, we're talking about in Virginia. Then a little bit farther to the south and east in Virginia, an individualized storm there near Alberta, just north of I-85. The tornado threat could be close to I-85, going northeast toward the Petersburg area. Whoa, boy, we're getting some odd stuff showing up there as well. The very large timestamp showing up in here. Let's see if I can get past that one. Right around the Alberta, Virginia area, showing up, coming up toward the McKinney area, very close to, probably just north of I-85 as this storm moves off toward the northeast. Then there are circulations embedded in the line that goes all the way from around Emporia, Virginia, down toward Murfreesboro there in North Carolina. Several pretty large circulations at times, some suggestions that may be able to confirm a tornado from that, including over into the counties here. We seem to have lost our, whoa, we're getting some odd things showing up again. I'll see if I can get past that one and show where the circulation is. It is very close to the Emporia area of Virginia, moving toward and very close to I-95 up toward the Henry area. There are some other weaker circulations in this over toward and getting toward the Druryville, Virginia area, just to the west of Boykins in Virginia as well. And then that whole line extends over the tail end of that over toward Murfreesboro in North Carolina. So and that one will be heading up toward, say, the Southampton Memorial Hospital with damaging winds and perhaps a tornado threat. Mike?
All right, Dr. Forbes, great stuff there. Thanks so much for the update on the warnings. Obviously, when we time this out for you, there'll be some issues for the remainder of the evening, so let's keep you up to date on that. All right, here's a pretty good line coming through right now. Upstate of South Carolina around Spartanburg and due south. That's going to get right into Columbia, we think. It's a bit of a broken line there, but as that line comes in, and we time it out for you here. There's 8 o'clock. It's on our doorstep in Columbia, probably coming in around 9 o'clock tonight. Storms push their way off the beaches here in South Carolina, so improved weather for you from the low country here in Charleston up through Myrtle Beach. And that line probably not going to hold itself together there. It's going to break up as it comes across the Palmetto State here. All right, we take it to Charlotte. Now, we've gotten a nice break here through the afternoon and evening in Charlotte, but that same line may march its way through Charlotte here this evening, 8 o'clock. Not too bad, but what's coming in from your west is the same thing that's going to hit you there in Columbia and eventually here in Charlotte. And I think same thing with same thing that maybe the snafus that Dr. Forbes has, we've got on ours as well. But again, through the evening tonight, watch a thin line of storms come through here in Charlotte. All right, one of the cities that we are very concerned about tonight is Richmond, Virginia. Our Justin Michaels has parked himself in that city tonight, and we know that we've got a couple of different issues that we'll deal with here. Flooding will be one of them. High winds will be one of them. When you get a very forested area like Richmond, that becomes a concern, of course. But then again, the big one might be tornadoes.
Yeah, well, right now the tornado watch is here, Mike. Not a warning, but a watch. And we also have that flash flood watch in place. The expectation is as that weather, and there it is, friends, finally we can see the edge of the really intense weather that we've been waiting for all day long. It's only, maybe 15 or so miles away from where we are right now as we look to the south and then off to the west. It's really begin to just kind of wrap itself around, and eventually it's going to be going there and here, but there, that's downtown to Richmond, Virginia. So what can we expect here? Well, using history as a guide, using this exact same storm as a guide, there's the potential that in a short period of time we could see several inches, maybe 3 inches of rain. And that's why that flash flood watch is in place, because this is a city that is prone to flash flooding. Highways here could flood out. Roads downtown could flood out. So make sure you're prepared. It really has been one of those situations where we have had kind of a false sense of security all day because we've seen all this weather happening way far away from us here in Richmond, and now it's on our doorstep. And a lot of people are out to dinner. Remember, this is going into Easter week. A lot of people may have traveled today to get to their parents' house or their grandparents' house or their aunt and uncle's house, wherever they're going, but they're getting there. So now what are you going to do? You got to want to go out, right? Go do something. So that false sense of security can be a real big problem. And the scarier part about this entire thing is, as this weather is coming through, the sun is beginning to set, of course, and we're going to be getting into nighttime hours. Could we have a situation where tornado warnings eventually pop up here and it's dark? It certainly is a possibility. Looking at the storm as a whole, tornado warnings are pretty normal when it comes to this storm. So make sure you are prepared. Make sure you know where to go. Make sure you have, the place identified where your family can go. Those interior, lowest parts of your homes where there are no windows, ideally, places you can keep yourself safe. In speaking with AAA earlier today, because Richmond is right along a main thoroughfare, and you've heard of it before, I-95 goes all the way from Maine to Miami. That goes right through Richmond, okay? A huge highway. And the best thing you can probably do, and this is AAA saying this, not me saying it, is if you get yourself caught in one of these downpours, in one of these warnings that's coming through, the best thing you can do is get off the highway. Even if all you're doing is pulling off to the side of the highway, try to keep space in front of you and behind you from any other vehicles, and keep yourselves as safe as possible. Wait for the line of rain and nasty weather to go through. So we're going to have to see how this pans out. We do know it's getting close. And in fact, if you can bring up the radar, you can see how close it is to downtown Richmond. No radar. So, okay, that's okay. But I'll tell you what, folks, it is close. If you check out, next commercial break, check out your app. Whatever app you have, it's getting really close, Mike. So, yeah, we're just waiting for it to start. We have heard some thunder. Mike has not seen any lightning yet, but we have heard thunder off in the distance, and that is this storm coming at us, and it's coming at us quickly.
All right, that is our Justin Michaels. He is in Richmond for us this evening. Justin, thank you so much for that. Certainly there's a threat for nighttime tornadoes tonight. Here are 3 things you may not have known about nocturnal tornadoes. Tornadoes are terrifying, even in broad daylight, but they can also strike in the middle of the night, when you're most vulnerable, unaware of the danger tracking towards your home. Here are 3 things to know about nighttime tornadoes. Number 1, nighttime tornadoes are twice as deadly. Only about 27% of tornadoes occur at night, but make up an incredible 39% of total deaths. This, according to a 2008 study from Northern Illinois University. 42% of killer tornadoes are nocturnal, with the highest fatality rates in spring and winter transition seasons. Number 2, night tornadoes are more difficult to confirm. It may seem obvious, but getting a visual confirmation on a tornado at night poses a challenge for meteorologists. Unless a tornado is accompanied by frequent lightning, it may not be spotted by someone on the ground. We have to rely largely on radar to assist in these circumstances. Number 3, nighttime tornadoes are more common in the South. It's important to point out that a nighttime tornado can happen anywhere, but the most common occurrences are in southern states. The top 3, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Remaining vigilant overnight is the best way to stay safe. You can't rely on a tornado siren to jar you from your sleep. Tools like NOAA weather radios, wireless emergency alerts, or push notifications from weather apps can keep you safe. Always have a plan, and be ready when severe weather threatens your area.
Todd! No! You wouldn't just live with it if they did it, so why live with your cat scratching furniture? This could be due to fear and anxiety. Feel-Away products are clinically proven to help alleviate many stress-related cat behaviors. Find your solution at feelaway.com.
Don't just dream about your next vacation. Book your next vacation. Be a booker at Booking.com.
I can't tell you who I am or what I witnessed, but I can tell you Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance so I only pay for what I need. No.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
If you have a garden, you know weeds are low-down little scoundrels. Draw the line with Roundup. The Sure Shot wand extends with a protective shield to target weeds precisely and kill them right down to the root. Roundup brand, trusted for over 40 years.
Our Hillshire Farm craftsmen start the day slow roasting turkey for incredible flavor. Then they double seal every slice for freshness. The results? Well, they speak for themselves.
Jardiance asks, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, are you thinking about your heart?
Well, I'm managing my A1C, so I should be all set.
Actually, you're still at risk for a fatal heart attack or stroke. That's where Jardiance comes in. It reduces the risk of dying from a cardiovascular event for adults who have type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. That's why the American Diabetes Association recommends the active ingredient in Jardiance.
And it lowers A1C.
With diet and exercise.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, what do you think?
Now I feel I can do more to go beyond lowering A1C.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
The Home Depot has the brands you can't get anywhere else, with the latest innovations to make things easier, faster, and with longer runtime. Today is the day for doing. Save now on Toro products like these. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
You wouldn't just live with it if they did it, so why live with your cat peeing outside the litter box? This could be due to fear and anxiety. Feel-Away products are clinically proven to help alleviate many stress-related cat behaviors. Find your solution at feelaway.com.
This winter, save your Sunday nights for the Weather Channel.
Let's go!
Hit the road and hang on for dear life.
Watch yourself! Whoa!
With Highway Through Hell.
It's going to be a good winter.
Sunday nights at 8. Catch an all-new episode of Highway Through Hell, only on the Weather Channel.
Join Liana Brackett.
And here we go.
Paul Goodlove.
If you like that, I got more on the way.
And Dr. Greg Postel. Weekend mornings starting at 9 on Weekend Recharge.
You're continuing to watch Weather Underground on the Weather Channel. I'm Justin Michaels, live for you tonight in Richmond, Virginia, where we are just getting ready to brace for impact, folks. The weather that we have been talking about for the last 3 days, okay, is finally on the doorstep here in Richmond. It's about 10 or 15 miles off to our south and southwest. This is a storm that has turned deadly. 4 people have died in this weather. The entire front end of it is speckled with tornado warnings. Those types of things are coming at us. The expectation, even here in Richmond, we could see 70 to 75 mile per hour winds. We could see as much as 3 inches of rain in a short period of time. And because of that, we have a tornado watch in place here right now in Richmond. We have a flash flood watch in place here in Richmond right now. And of course, Richmond is a city that can have its fair share of flooding. This is also a city that has a major highway going through it, I-95. So this is a road that goes all the way from Maine to Miami and back. So it's certainly a road people will be using to get home for Easter weekend. Okay, what you're looking at now is some video we shot earlier today, really a very small representation of the type of weather we're talking about, but we have seen rain showers go through Richmond, Virginia today, and this is just one small example of that. Earlier today, though, there was a really intense rain or thunder shower that went over our hotel. It knocked off some television stations from our televisions in our hotel rooms. It also made the lights flicker. So one of those big, kind of rumbling thunderstorms that goes through but moves really quickly. What's coming at us now is very different. It's not isolated, it's long, and it's going to be moving at us. If you've been watching the Weather Channel throughout the better course of this day, you may have seen this exact same thing go through the Tampa Bay area, okay, or Orlando. And when it went through those towns, we had ground stops at Tampa International Airport, at Orlando International Airport, complete shutdown of all air traffic in and out of those airports. So we're talking about some really intense weather, and it is not far from where I'm standing right now. You can see the skyline of Richmond back there. All right, so it's a very beautiful skyline of this central city here in Virginia, the capital city, Mike, of course. And now we're simply waiting as we look off to the west and the southwest, Mike. That's what's coming at us. Looks pretty calm, right? Well, we, Mike, know it's exactly the opposite of that. Mike, into you.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're giving people a lot of heads up here, Justin. I'm sure they're appreciative of that, but what's coming their way is some really violent stuff. No question about that at all. That's our Justin Michaels. He's reporting live right now from Richmond, Virginia. Justin, thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit more about where the safest place in your home may be to go if severe weather or tornadoes were to strike. Mark Elliott shows you.
When you're under a tornado warning or you hear a tornado siren, and especially if you can see that tornado, now is not the time to grab that smartphone and start filming. Oops. Instead, it's time to get inside and seek shelter. You run inside to seek shelter from the storm and come up to your bedroom, which normally is pretty safe, until of course a tree crashes through your roof. Coming down to a lower level, great idea. Trying to see where the storm is outside those windows, bad idea. It was a good idea to leave the windows, but this exterior wall doesn't help you as much as you might think. No, tree limbs or 2x4s, they're like toothpicks when winds get as fierce as in these storms. Yes, your garage is on ground level and has 4 sides. No, it isn't going to protect you the way you want it to. So this is where you do want to be. Not only a low level, but the lowest level you've got. And you want to put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. And then you stay here until it's safe. Because this room could be the one thing that saves your life.
Well, folks, stick around when we come back. Dr. Knabb, following flooding force becoming a big concern in a place like Asheville.
Yeah, in places where it stopped raining, like Asheville, the waters are still rising. Biltmore Village area south of Asheville, you're told to get out of that area. And in the Baltimore, D.C. area, the rain's just starting. Long night of flooding potential ahead. Stay with us. Dr. Forbes coming back.
At Firehouse Subs, subs are hot, hearty, and extraordinary. Every sub helps provide life-saving equipment for first responders. Nice, Jaws of life, Lisa. So more people eating at Firehouse Subs means more life-saving equipment donated to first responders. If you're gonna have a sub, have one that makes a difference. How's that taste, Jim?
Introducing new Firehouse Pairs. Pair your favorite small sub with a signature side.
Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
Remember childhood? And these little red boxes? And the sweet little sun-made raisins. Life was always play. And worries, what were they? Remember childhood? Don't forget, it never left.
You might take something for your heart, your joints, or your digestion. So why wouldn't you take something for the most important part of you, your brain? With an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish, Prevagen has been shown in clinical trials to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith. Or this John Smith. Or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
This winter, save your Sunday nights for the Weather Channel.
Let's go!
Hit the road and hang on for dear life.
Watch yourself! Whoa!
With Highway Through Hell.
It's gonna be a good winter.
Sunday nights at 8. Catch an all-new episode of Highway Through Hell, only on the Weather Channel.
My mom loves to volunteer, but I worry because she recently had a fall. So I got her the new Lively Mobile from Great Call. It's a mobile medical alert device with fall detection. It's so reassuring knowing she can get help anywhere with just the press of a button.
In any unsafe or uncertain situation, you'll be immediately connected to a highly trained agent who can get you the help you need.
Purchase today and get the monthly service for just $19.99. Plus, the first month is free.
Hey, look. They got one of those purple mattresses. I've heard about these. It's supposed to sleep cool, and it's specially designed to cradle your pressure points. Huh? Freeze!
Time to go to work. We do whatever we have to do to keep this highway open.
Whoa!
This is crazy. Heavy Rescue, Sunday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Well, before the break, Dr. Knapp telling us about some of the flooding becoming a really pressing issue now. A lot of places, Asheville is one of them.
Yeah, here's a really important thing to keep in mind in this situation because of how much rain has fallen during the day today in these areas of complex terrain in places like western North Carolina. Just because the rain has ended doesn't mean the flood problem has ended. So looking at the big picture on the radar, look at how much the rain has lessened over western North Carolina as the rainfall really starts to increase in Virginia, heading into Baltimore and D.C., and up into Pennsylvania and New York. So looking farther down south, here is Greenville, South Carolina, and then Asheville, North Carolina, right across from there. And here is Asheville and here's Hendersonville. These have been some of the hardest hit spots. Hendersonville, multiple water rescues during the day today, and south of Asheville in the Biltmore Village area, they've got rising water still on the way up. Okay, so you have multiple rivers, the French Broad River coming down the west side of Asheville, and then rivers coming in from there, going right through Biltmore Village, and they're still having water rises, even though the rain has stopped. So please don't get out on the roads south of Asheville just because the sun is coming out. It is still a dangerous time, and in the Biltmore Village area, officials are telling people to get out of that area because water is still rising. Now, if you go farther north, similar kind of situation along I-77 in southwestern Virginia, the Galax area, the Hillsville area, still getting light to moderate rain, but they've already had reports of water on the roadways. Okay, now let's go farther to the east. Okay, here's where the problem has been on the increase. In the Halifax area of south central Virginia, still moderate rains going on, but they've had so much heavy rainfall that the flood potential will be ongoing, that flash flood warning, until 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Lynchburg had a round of very heavy rainfall a little while ago. Flash flood warning will remain in effect there till at least 10:45 p.m. Eastern time, pending how much more rain we get. Now, let's look into some of the larger metro areas farther to the north and east. Charlottesville, Virginia, very heavy rainfall right now. Baltimore and D.C., just occasional rainfall coming down. But all of this is headed your way. Flash flood watches in effect for all of this area. And I would not be shocked for there to be some flood advisories or even flash flood warnings in Baltimore and or D.C. later tonight. So whatever you're doing on the roads, you want to finish it up as quickly as possible because later tonight it could get very dangerous. Flash flooding, roadways, and nighttime can be a very, very dangerous combination. And then Pennsylvania, farther north, I-99, I-80 going through central Pennsylvania, that is increasingly going to become a problem area. And so when you put it all together, here are the areas from Virginia northward into Pennsylvania, New York, even northern New England, where you've got a combination of heavy rainfall coming with some snow melt, also complicating factors, along with complex terrain. Tonight into tomorrow morning, this is where we could see flash flooding. And look at all the areas, Mike, that are under flash flood and flood watches. So again, a couple big reminders here. Yeah. Don't assume the problem is over down south just because the rain has ended. Sure. And as it gets dark, put your mind focused on how difficult it is to notice the dangers of flooding on the roadways at night, especially as we get into D.C. and Baltimore here in the next couple of hours.
You say it time and time again, we get in so much trouble in our cars because that's where we see a lot of fatalities when it comes to flooding. Dr. Knapp, thank you very much. Really like the illustration there where the rain has ended in western North Carolina predominantly, but there's a ton of flooding going on right now. A lot of rivers coming up bankful or out of their banks right now. Let's refocus now with Dr. Forbes on the severe storms that are happening, including still tornado warnings out there.
Yeah, central and eastern Virginia becoming the focal point for the worst of the severe weather, severe thunderstorm winds and tornado threat coming across the area. You see here in red tornado warnings and even some severe thunderstorm warnings from central Pennsylvania and down into eastern North Carolina as well. Let's take a look here from north to south into Pennsylvania. Severe thunderstorm warnings coming right into Chambersburg, Pennsylvania right now. And even in there, you can see some little curlicues in the line. So not out of the question, even though these are severe warned, that we could get, say, Franklin and adjacent counties, we could get even a tornado. Now, down into central parts of Virginia, Louisa County, you have a more individualized mini supercell type thunderstorm that's coming up across an area near Cuckoo, Virginia, with a possibility of a tornado. A little notch there right over Louisa, heading up toward Ellisville and the Monrovia, the Lahore areas of Virginia with the possibility of a tornado. Take a look here. Green and red couplet. That's the possibility of a tornado right over the city of Louisa right now. So you should be seeking shelter there. Then individualized supercell thunderstorm also has broken away from a line here in including the city of Hopewell and Petersburg, as well as Prince George, Surrey, and Sussex counties. This is all off to the north and west of the Norfolk area with a possibility of a tornado. This one is heading toward places like Disputanta, Waverly, the Brandon area, the lower Brandon area, with a possibility of a tornado. Pretty well-defined circulation showing up there in red and green east of Stony Creek, heading toward the Waverly area. And then a whole line of thunderstorms with some circulations in that, including over into the Franklin area, Franklin and Suffolk, as well as Isle of Wight and Southampton counties just southwest of the Norfolk area, and coming into, say, the Newport News area at about 8:47 with the threat for damaging winds and some tornadoes, Mike. So very busy across southeast Virginia.
Incredibly dangerous weather for us tonight. Dr. Forbes, thank you so much for that. When we come back, we're going to take you live to Richmond, Virginia. Check in with our Justin Michaels, an update on the conditions that are getting worse there.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. Ensure for strength and energy.
Outsmarting a nasty Nessie with Duluth Flex Dry on the Fly pants. Step 1, locate the legend. Step 2, flex 'em. And unwet 'em. Duluth Flex Dry on the Fly pants. Make your legs legendary. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 What? What?
It happens.
And if you got cut rate car insurance, paying for this could feel like getting robbed twice. So get all state. And be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
All eyes on me.
Cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
I have heart disease. Watch what I eat, take statins, but still struggle to lower my LDL bad cholesterol, which means a heart attack or stroke could strike without warning, pulling me away from everything that matters most. Because with high bad cholesterol, my risk of a heart attack or stroke is real. Repatha plus a statin seriously lowers bad cholesterol by 63% and significantly drops my risk of having a heart attack or stroke.
Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha can cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include trouble breathing or swallowing of the face. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
I won't let a heart attack or stroke come between me and everything I love. Neither should you. Tell your doctor to lower your LDL and reduce your risk with Repatha. Pay no more than $5 per month with a Repatha copay card.
A migraine hope from Aimovig. To be there for the good and not so good. For the mundane, the awe-inspiring, the heart-racing, the heartbreaking. That's what life is all about. Showing up. Unless migraine steals your chance to say, I am here. We aim to change that. That's why we created Aimovig, a preventive treatment for migraine in adults. 1 dose once a month. Aimovig is proven to reduce the number of monthly migraine days. For some, that number can be cut in half or more. The most common side effects are pain, redness or swelling at the injection site, and constipation. It doesn't matter what each day brings, so long as you can say, I am here. Aim to be there more. Talk to your doctor about preventing migraine with Aimovig.
There's something you can't miss at Olive Garden. All new giant Italian classics starting at $12.99. 4 new specialties done up in a big way, like giant chicken parmigiana. All new giant Italian classics, only for a limited time at Olive Garden.
This winter, save your Sunday nights for the Weather Channel.
Let's go!
Hit the road and hang on for dear life.
Watch yourself. Whoa!
With Highway Through Hell.
It's going to be a good winter.
Sunday nights at 8. Catch an all-new episode of Highway Through Hell, only on the Weather Channel.
Watching numerous lines of storms tonight, especially across Virginia. Dr. Forbes has all of that. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, several tornado warnings as well.
Yeah, indeed. All the way now with a tornado warning up into southern Pennsylvania as well. Mainly, though, it's central and southeast Virginia that have the most tornado warnings. You see here in red, big clusters of severe thunderstorm warnings, one more isolated. Several of them are circulations embedded in lines, and that's the case here with the storm that's up in Pennsylvania. A bit of a, and I pointed this out about 10 minutes ago, a bit of a curlicue, a little calm ahead that's rotating its way up into areas west of the Harrisburg area, north of McConnellsburg. So we're talking about Huntington County with a tornado warning near the Fannett area. The circulation here near Orbisonia heading up toward, say, Tell and Waterloo and Lac with possibility of damaging winds and possibly a tornado. Pretty well-defined circulation there in areas that are kind of mountainous, so you could sometimes get a sporadic tornado will drop down, say, on a hill slope in some of these areas. It's pretty close to Highway 522 at the moment. Then down into Virginia, Louisa County, just to the west of Cuckoo. The storm moving northeast, the circulation there heading up toward Ellisville and the Monrovia, the Lahore areas. The circulation not extremely tight on this one. A couple of circulations there rolling as they kind of have done today in some of these storms along the same path. This one, much more well-defined supercell thunderstorm with the hook wrapping way out to the right. At times it seems like there might be a debris signature on this one. Prince George, Surrey, Sussex counties with tornado warning. Hopewell and Petersburg cities with tornado warning. And you can see where this one is heading up toward the Brandon area, the Williamsburg, Virginia area with a possibility of a tornado. Pretty well-defined circulation there. Red, greens, the reds northwest, the greens southeast in a storm relative sense. Pretty tight there in that couplet just to the west of the Waverly area. Let me see if I can take a quick look and see if I can find out if there's any debris signatures showing up at this point in time, right in there. No debris signature right with that couplet, so we'll hope that this is a circulation loft. Then part of that line continues down south and east of Waverly all the way to Franklin. You can see that line heading toward the Norfolk area. Carsville, Smithfield, Windsor cities, and Isle of Wight and Southampton counties with tornado warnings anywhere in this area, including around the 8:43 time or a little bit earlier, the Hampton and Newport News areas, as there are some circulations or at least tightened shear areas here and there within the line. The line of thunderstorms extends down all the way toward the New Bern area, a severe thunderstorm warning around Greenville in North Carolina, and we do have severe tornado watches, I should say, that include the Baltimore and Washington area down to Norfolk and parts of even still for Charlotte and Raleigh and parts of eastern North Carolina and south central Pennsylvania with a severe thunderstorm warning. We have still a severe thunderstorm warning for a little bit of southern Florida, but I have not seen any severe thunderstorms down there for a while. But watch out for the lightning as it's coming toward the coast, Mike.
They've had a lot of travel delays down there at MIA too, so this is only going to add to that. Yeah. Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. So Dr. Forbes is showing us that line coming through Virginia. Want to take you there right now, live to Richmond. Our Justin Michaels is there. Been closely following this line, Justin. It is getting very intense and very close to you. Yeah. And obviously, there's got to be some big concern there about what could happen with the tornadoes.
Well, Mike, I have a question as you're looking at the radar because I don't have one out here right now. The rain has started, kind of very lightly started. I wouldn't even say it's pouring. It's just raining right now. How close are we from kind of the starting edge of this where the rain has started to maybe a round of some sort of nasty, severe weather of some kind?
You're probably not that far. You know, the leading edge is going to be all rain, and then the meat of the storm, if you will, comes in behind that. Give that another 10 minutes, maybe, and then maybe 15 minutes for the really strong stuff. We put the timer on there. The calculation for distance is about 30 miles. So it's not that far away. So I would suspect probably within the half an hour, those storms are going to be on top of you there.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. If you're listening to us here in the greater Richmond area, this is still the time where you have a little bit of time to prepare, but the rain is beginning to fall now. And this is the time that maybe you want to consider, hey, how much further down the highway can we get if you're maybe listening to us or watching us, streaming us in the car, however you might be doing that. Or, hey, you might want to call, Aunt Shirley and say, Aunt Shirley, why don't you get off the highway until tomorrow morning? That kind of thing. This is the time to be doing it and making those types of decisions because we have a flash flood watch in effect right now. We have a tornado watch in effect right now here in Richmond, and we do know Richmond has a history of flooding. You can maybe still basically see the skyline. I'm not sure if you can see it behind me yet or not, but it is slowly but surely being lost in the darkness that is night and also shrouded in the rain that is now coming in. It's getting more difficult to see it. So we do know the severe weather is coming. We do know that this storm has presented and actually turned fatal. 4 people have died. So really, folks, it's really wise to keep this one in your sights and make sure you're preparing as best you can. We know that at RIC, Richmond International Airport, there are several delays at this point, nearly 50 at last check. Also cancellations, probably a backlog from all the different air travel trouble there has been today. Remember, airports like Tampa International, Orlando International, all had ground stops earlier today. And you know as well as I do, if you've watched any of these types of storms, that backlog and that domino effect of missed or canceled or delayed flights just permeates the entire area. So traveling is going to be very difficult. Earlier today, we were able to speak with AAA, and AAA was talking obviously about the roads. And they were really kind of adamant that if you get yourselves caught, remember, I-95 goes right through Richmond. So if somebody's on I-95, a family traveling for Easter break gets caught on I-95, and you get caught in one of those really intense downpours and maybe severe weather, tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, whatever it might be, if these get elevated to warnings, stop your car. Best thing you can do is try to find shelter somewhere, but at the very least, pull off to the side of the road and wait for that severe weather to go through, because it really could be a life or death decision. These are very nasty storms. At this point, it's just rain. This is the first time today, all day, I've been able to put this hood up. So that's a good thing, Mike, for our purposes, being able to tell this weather story, but it's a bad thing because we know that severe weather is on our doorstep here in Richmond.
Oh,
Mike,
absolutely.
back into you.
Justin, thank you so much for that. I want to bring in Dr. Forbes real quick, talk more about that line coming into Richmond. It's changed a little bit here, looks more segmented now. How concerned should we be about those individual pieces?
Yeah, well, there are some little embedded thunderstorm cores in the line that is coming toward him. They're within about 15 minutes away, and those right at the end there, it's not out of the question that there could be a brief little tornado that would spin up in some of those, but it's probably only about a mile wide, the most dangerous area there, in a couple of storms coming right toward Richmond and then off toward the west side of Richmond.
Gosh, I'm kind of hoping here that we may have dodged a bullet in Richmond. With how those just oh so subtly dissipated a little bit, or weakened just a little bit as they were just west of town.
Yeah, and I just paused this so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's one core here, but then there's this big broad area of rain. So we're monitoring things like this. These little core areas that are moving off toward the north and east. Not out of the question that you could get a brief tornado spin up in that. But at the moment, not severe thunderstorm, not tornado warned for the greater Richmond area. It's down near Petersburg.
Yeah, the other thing that we'll certainly worry about is the opportunity for flooding. A city like Richmond has had some historic floods there in the past. You're watching numerous areas, Dr. Knabb, all across the east for flooding.
Yeah, we've still got western North Carolina, places like Asheville and Hendersonville that are dealing with flooding from the rains that have happened all day. But I want to focus on what's coming farther north from Virginia northward as the heavy rains start to move in. We've already had some heavy rains in Lynchburg, Virginia, where you've got a flash flood warning until 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. Moderate to light rain happening right now, but more is probably on the way. That's why that flash flood warning in effect so late tonight. Now let's go farther east from Richmond northward through Charlottesville and then starting to get increasingly concerned about the D.C. and Baltimore area for multiple hazards. But, the sun's going to go down at about 10 minutes to 8 here in a little bit, and that's about when the moderate to heavy rain will start, and then it could train for a while over the same areas. And in those metropolitan areas, we could have some dangerous driving conditions, possibility of flash flooding. Be really, really good, if at all possible, to get off the roads before it gets dark and before this rain moves on in. And then farther north, some training starting to develop over central Pennsylvania, places like Harrisburg and Williamsport at risk for flash flooding tonight. So here's the big picture all the way from North Carolina and Virginia up through Pennsylvania, New York, even into northern New England, where we've got a combination of heavy rain and a little bit of snow melt being part of the problem tonight into tomorrow morning. Flash flood watches and flood watches up for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. The flood watch will be part of the story for tonight, but so will the tornado and severe thunderstorm threat. More from Dr. Forbes on those details when we return.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
Sometimes, bipolar 1 disorder makes you feel like you can do it all. But mania, such as unusual changes in your mood, activity, or energy levels, can leave you on shaky ground. Help take control by asking your healthcare provider about Vraylar. Vraylar treats acute mania of bipolar 1 disorder. Vraylar significantly reduces overall manic symptoms and was proven in adults with mixed episodes who have both mania and depression. Vraylar should not be used in elderly patients with dementia due to increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol, weight gain, high blood sugar, and decreased white blood cells, both of which can be serious or fatal, dizziness upon standing, falls, seizures, impaired judgment, heat sensitivity, and trouble swallowing may occur. Ask if Vraylar can help you get on track.
This is Dyson's latest vacuum. Its V11 motor delivers more suction power than most corded vacuums. A battery-saving trigger preserves battery life. A high-torque motor directly drives the brush bar. Carbon fiber filaments remove fine dust, and stiff nylon bristles dig deep into carpet.
It's got twice the suction of any other cord-free vacuum.
It makes deep cleaning so easy.
I switched to Liberty Mutual because they let me customize my insurance. And as a fitness junkie, I customize everything. Like my bike and my calves.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Wow, that's an aggressive yellow.
Pretty great, huh?
If you're a banana.
I find it very appealing.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran with bananas. 2 scoops meet real banana slices.
Done a good job raising ya.
Creating the perfect night just takes a little creativity. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Corona Premier.
We don't just make cars. We make technology that moves people. This is the 2019 Nissan Rogue, featuring tech like Pro Pilot Assist. It helps keep you centered in your lane and in control. This is how Nissan Intelligent Mobility is reinventing driving for everyone. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Well, tonight, Weather Underground following an intense line of storms coming through Virginia and taking aim at Hampton Roads tonight.
Yeah, it really are. Mainly, it looks like a damaging wind threat, but there could be some embedded tornadoes within that. A cluster of storms here, a bow echo, if you will, going toward the Newport News and just to the northwest. Then tornado, more individualized storms in central Virginia, and the rotating calm ahead of a line up in south central Pennsylvania. That particular storm, Huntington County with a tornado warning, and now a severe thunderstorm warning that goes beyond that up into parts of Juniata and Mifflin counties with the possibility of severe thunderstorms. Let's take a look here at the circulation. This one is pretty well-defined rotation there, so should there be a tornado, it would be coming up toward places like the Black Log area and the Bratton areas, and ultimately heading its way there up toward Lewistown, Pennsylvania. It has broad rotation in that area between Shirley and Lac. Heading down then farther into Virginia, this storm here has previously been tornado warned. It is severe warned now, Culpeper, Orange, and Spotsylvania counties, with a possibility of damaging winds. And then beyond that, let's see if I can pull this one back. Goochland and Louisa counties with tornado warnings. This is a storm that we've been looking at in the areas south and east of Fork Union, heading up toward the Beaver Dam area of Virginia. Then as we head down south and east of Richmond, tornado warnings are in effect for Prince George and Surrey counties, and now extend a little bit beyond to the north and east of that for Charles City, James City, and New Kent counties. Pretty well-defined circulation showing up with this one. And it would be heading up toward places like Walkers and Slaterville as it goes off toward the north and east. A big overall circulation in this, not real tight, indicative of that we would see indicative of a tornado, and that certainly is the case here. A line of thunderstorms coming across Surrey County and then down into areas a little bit farther south and east of that, with a possibility of tornadoes, but mainly damaging winds coming in toward the Williamsburg area. Let me see if I can get this back to indicate some timing on this. Williamsburg about 8 o'clock or so as this line of storms rolls through. Taking a look at some of the velocities in this, nothing that's really tight indication of tornadoes, just here and there some circulations that suggest that you could get a possibility of a tornado. So, Mike, it is a busy night coming across parts of southeast Virginia with a chance of a tornado, none that we're seeing in progress at the moment.
You think more a high wind threat comes with a lot of these bow echoes?
Yeah, some damaging winds in spots across with these bow echoes that are charging about 50 miles per hour up into the area.
They're moving, that's for sure. Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. Dr. Knabb, covering the other end of the spectrum here, being the flooding as a result of all these storms that are producing epic amounts of rain.
Yeah, remember that flash flooding, especially if you're getting out on the roads, can be just as dangerous, if not deadly, if you're not careful, as the tornado severe weather threat. It's a often overlooked hazard, especially after it gets dark and people are still on the roads and the heavy rain starts. It's harder and harder to see down the road in front of you and whether or not there's water covering the road. And that's going to become an increasing problem in Baltimore, D.C., Pennsylvania, New York. But I wanted to highlight what's going on down south. We still have a number of flash flood warnings in effect in western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, portions of Virginia. So much rain has fallen in this area, more than half a foot in some places. Hendersonville is still under a flash flood warning until 11:15 p.m. Eastern time. Probably the last batch of really heavy rain has gone by, but the low spots, the creeks, the streams are still waterlogged, and it would be very dangerous for you to get on the roads in that area. The flash flood warning up in Galax in southwestern Virginia, still in effect till 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hillsville area, just east of I-77 on the other side of the interstate from Galax, had reports of water on the road. So again, don't get complacent if the rain has stopped and maybe even the sun comes out briefly. You still have to be aware of water covering the roadway. Still flash flood warning here, south central Virginia and Halifax till 8:30. Lynchburg, flash flood warning till 10:45. And look at this menacing radar, the way it's going to unfold in Washington and Baltimore here in just several minutes to an hour or so. The heavy rain will start, ponding on the roadways, and the possibility of flash flooding. This whole area under a flash flood watch, as is most of Pennsylvania and New York. Mike?
All right, Dr. Knabb, thank you very much. Stick around. We'll come back. More from our experts, Dr. Knabb, Dr. Forbes, and we will take you back live to Richmond, Virginia, with storms right on your doorstep right now. Justin Michaels will report live. Stay with us right here on Weather Underground.
There's a place where muscle car culture is celebrated. Welcome to Muscleville, a Dodge owner's paradise, where you parallel park like this, and people show off their goods by popping their hoods, where block parties look like this. The fashion is always forward, and rush hour takes on a whole new meaning. Come Welcome to Muscleville, where every day is a performance day.
Staying connected to your community is more important than ever. So stream your news just like everything else you love with Local Now. Local Now is everything you really should know.
Take it easy on those major highways and surface streets.
Do not want to miss.
3-day admission starts at 1.
An absolutely must try all around your area. Just select your location. Then start streaming Local Now anywhere on any screen. It's completely free and ready to go when and where you are. Local Now. Find it in your favorite app store.
Bear presents Outdone Yourself. Staining be done and stay done through every season.
Done. Done, 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 done.
Bear semi-transparent stain. Overall, #1 rated. Stay done for years to come. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
It's easy to shrink into your own little world. Especially these days.
I think it's here.
Especially at this age.
Where are we going?
It's a big, beautiful world out there.
Wow. See that?
Sometimes you just need a little help seeing it.
Presenting the all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
What makes DiGiorno Crispy Pan Pizza different than delivery?
Pan, 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 pan.
Pan, pan, pan. You bake it fresh in its own pan, giving our DiGiorno pizza a crispy, caramelized crust. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Michelob Ultra Pure Gold. Beer in its organic form.
It can't be. I'm not ready. I do spin class. What? The refrigerator? Oh, come on. Do you know how much this cost me? This is killing me. Let me rephrase that.
Your refrigerator, air conditioner, water heater will all die sometime. Homeowners insurance won't cover them. Be sure your budget's protected with an American Home Shield home warranty. We help cover the cost to repair or replace components of your systems and appliances, no matter their age. Limitations and exclusions apply. Home systems and appliances will eventually die. Count on American Home Shield to get you back up and running.
Oh, the air conditioner too?
Be sure your budget's protected. For free information, call 1-800-978-9103. That's 1-800-978-9103. Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield.
Time to go to work.
We do whatever we have to do to keep this highway open.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
This is crazy.
Heavy Rescue, Sunday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Good evening, and thank you for staying with us here on Weather Underground. I'm Justin Michaels, live for you in Richmond, Virginia, where we are watching the line come through, the line of severe weather and storms we've been talking about all day. Well, it is here now. It's getting off to a slow start here, and that's a good thing. In fact, this is the kind of thing you want to be wrong about, right? So that doesn't mean there hasn't been absolute devastation elsewhere, but here in Richmond so far, it's a light rain. There could be some thunder associated. There could be some lightning. But right now, it looks like it's going to be mostly rain here in Richmond. But as you well know, these forecasts can change all the time. Dr. Forbes, Dr. Rick Knabb, and of course, Mike Bettis back there at HQ. And of course, the entire army of meteorologists behind the scenes, making sure we get you the best information possible. And that's what we're going to continue to do here on Weather Underground. But as far as Richmond goes, I don't want to go anywhere near as far as saying, and certainly isn't my place to say that's a near miss, because the weather is here. And the potential for more weather to come through is certainly here as well. But certainly compared to other parts of the country where we have seen 4 deaths, where we have seen flooding, and we have seen damaged and destroyed property, it seems like Richmond isn't going to be experiencing things like that, at least at this point in the storm. But that does not mean we should be letting our guards down. That doesn't mean you need to, say, hey, didn't come to town. The rain is coming down, and we do know that the potential for thunder and lightning is certainly coming here as well. So definitely be very careful. Heed those warnings. We're still in that flash flood watch until later on tonight, late tonight, maybe as close to midnight tonight here in Richmond, and also a tornado watch going all the way through midnight tonight. So even though they're not warnings, those watches are there because of the potential, right? So make sure you're just keeping yourself safe, making the right decisions. Of course, we're going into Easter weekend. Families are together, friends are together, and that's a great thing. But make sure you're keeping those safety plans in place as well, Mike, because you just never know, Mike, and you have seen this probably countless times, and Dr. Forbes, Dr. Knabb as well, how quickly things can change for the worse. In this case, they've changed for the better a little bit, but that doesn't mean they can't change back.
That's true. I mean, maybe divine intervention here, Justin. The things that just have improved slightly for you there in the Richmond area. Can't necessarily say that for the areas that farther south of there. So let's bring in Dr. Forbes now tonight. Talk more about that. You go maybe just south of Richmond. We've still got a pretty intense line there with tornado warnings.
Yeah, there are tornado warnings northwest and southeast of the Richmond area. Richmond is right in the middle here where there are thunderstorms, but there are no warnings there. But there is a tornado warning in red there and several in the part of the line that goes from Newport News down into areas south and east of Richmond, and even up into Pennsylvania, a severe thunderstorm warning, some other severe warnings in North Carolina. Let's take a look at the tornado warnings northwest of the Richmond area, still up around Louisa, the Beaver Dam area, Goochland and Louisa counties with tornado warnings. Right at the area near Cuckoo, heading up toward the Spotsylvania area at about 827, going about 50 miles per hour with a possibility of a tornado. Not extremely tight, but definitely a circulation there just southwest of Cuckoo. It will go in between Cuckoo and the Beaver Dam area of Virginia. Here's the Richmond area. Thunderstorms right over Richmond at the moment, as well as up toward Ashland. Very tiny little intense cores, a lot of widespread rain going across that area. No severe or tornado warnings. Then down just to the northwest of Williamsburg, Virginia, Charles City County and James City County and New Kent counties with tornado warnings. Getting very close to I-64. It has moved up toward at the speed that it's going now. The tornado threat is right about at the Walkers area, heading up toward places like Plum Point, West Point, Shanghai, and Jamaica with a possibility of tornadoes. Not an extremely tight velocity signature now, but you can see that there are alternating reds and greens in there. So definitely some gusty winds and some shifting winds. Then the next part, a line of thunderstorms down to the south and east of that could be coming into places like Williamsburg, Gloucester Point, Gloucester, Christchurch area with a chance of a tornado in these areas. We do have a tornado warning for Isle of Wight, Southampton counties. And let me go back and grab this one that we slipped by for Surrey County as well. So some circulations in this line that's going off to the areas north and west of Norfolk, and with the possibility of a tornado, and as well as damaging winds, and some of the timing on those could be coming into or close to Newport News at around 8:15. But the velocity signatures, not real indicative of tornadoes. There are some tiny spots of circulations here coming into these areas west and then ultimately toward north of the Newport News area. And down farther to the south, a line not moving nearly as fast, almost along itself. Bertie, Chowan, and Hertford counties in North Carolina, in the city of Suffolk, Virginia, with a possibility of flooding and damaging winds, Mike. So still a very stormy night, southeast Virginia and eastern or northeast parts of North Carolina.
It's going to be a rough evening for a lot of folks still. Dr. Forbes, great job on the radar tonight, and thank you so much. Let's bring in Dr. Knabb, talk more about this flooding. Some of those storms that Dr. Forbes was just showing us could produce some flooding, but places that had rain hours ago are still dealing with this impact. You were talking about Asheville. Not often that you see a warning from the police department saying if you are in a certain area, in this case Biltmore Village, leave as soon as possible because the water was coming up.
Yeah, and they gave that notice while the sun was out, and that's because the rain has fallen and mostly moved along, and the weather has improved, but the rivers are still filling up. And in Biltmore Village, south of Asheville, that's where the water is still in the process of rising, so you got to get out of there.
And on a Friday night, there's a lot of nice restaurants down there. People want to go out to dinner. It's a dangerous place to be tonight.
Yeah, and that's the nature of areas of complex terrain. Now, North Carolina is like that, especially the western portions of the state. Much of Virginia is like that. Pennsylvania. There's so many places that have hundreds of low water crossings that make it very dangerous, life-threatening even, to drive after it's rained heavily and the flash flood warnings are up. So don't drive around barricades, don't drive around onto any water-covered roads. Let's take a look at where we're concerned about the rest of tonight and into tomorrow morning. Certainly Virginia remains in play for quite a while to come. D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, most of Pennsylvania, most of the state of New York, and even up in northern New England, where as that heavier rain makes its way farther north tonight and tomorrow morning, that combined with some snow melt is going to produce a flash flood problem there. So under flood watches and flash flood watches are shown here, and this is where you could experience some of what you've experienced farther south. And it's going to be a difficult night and early morning. Again, things get more and more difficult once it gets dark. When it's all said and done, tonight into tomorrow for the Easter weekend, we could have 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of rain. And Mike, no surprise, because some of the places down south have gotten more than half a foot today.
Then there's no escaping it at that point, considering how wet it has been for literally months in some of these places. Dr. Knapp, thank you very much. Last word with Dr. Forbes on these warnings.
Yeah, a little bit of a brand new extended tornado warning down in the Newport News area. The line of thunderstorms all the way from Williamsburg, Virginia, down to Smithfield, heading into the Newport News area. So Hampton, Newport News, Pocasson with tornado warnings. The cities, Isle of Wight, York counties with a tornado warning, as well as the cities of Hampton, Newport News, and Pocasson. This moving 50 miles per hour, damaging wind gusts, a chance of a tornado. Newport News about 8:16, and taking a look at the velocity pattern here. Mainly, it seems like a progressive wind pattern, but you can never totally rule out a tornado circulation in these, Mike.
Just something to keep our eyes on here very, very keenly here over the next hour or two. Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. Hey, want to let you know that Carl Parker is going to be with you through the evening tonight to keep you up to date live as tornado warnings warrant. So stay tuned for that. He'll let you know as needed. For all of us here at Weather Underground, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great weekend, a safe weekend. For all of us here, remember, together we know more. We're going to see you back here on Monday.
This time on Highway Through Hell, a lost load of lumber.
Oh, man.
Stacks the odds.
It's a mess.
Against Team Reliable.
Hold on!